beautiful good morning to our lovely listeners of GhanaTalks Radio. You are live on our GhanaTalks breakfast show where we discuss insightful discussion and also look at latest headlines making waves. Do well to give us a follow on all our socials and also subscribe to our YouTube channels. I answer to the name Miss Regina Bliss, and as usual I have with me Miss Deborah Adoso, our leadership. Hello. Hope you are doing well.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Are you excited for the weekend?
Yes, very
excited.
Very.
Will you be going?
I know what. I don't know anything.
You don't know anything. Okay, so before we delve straight into today's latest news headlines, I would like us to touch a little on the SDA issue. The student who shot their colleague in the face. Yeah. Now, unfortunately, the lady can't see. She's having difficulties with the sight, and there are still some, tiny particles of bullets in her eyes, and she's really suffering. So now, today when I was in a vehicle, people were really discussing about it, and it really drew my attention to something. Is it the indiscipline of the teachers? Is it the indiscipline of the GES? Is it indiscipline of the government, parents, or is it peer influence? That is what we will be looking at shortly before we delve into today's latest trend. So, Miss Debbie, what do you think about this whole situation?
I think it has to do with indiscipline in our schools. I won't say I am old, but then when I was in primary or JHS, they used to lash us.
Yeah.
You see, yesterday I was telling you when we saw a student and we thought she was actually late for school. Yeah. And I was like, as at that age, when I'm going to school and I'm late, then my heart is beating because like I'm already afraid. Before you get to the gate, the entrance of your school, they will cane you. When you're able to have your way through to the compound, they will cane you. There is a head teacher there. Then when you get to the classroom, the teacher on duty teaching whatever subject it is, he will also lash you. Yeah. So sometimes when you are late, you are even afraid. So you just feel like, let me just stay in the house because I'll be taking like 3 lashes before I sit. And then the disgrace alone, like your colleagues in class studying, and you are now walking in. But now there is indiscipline. A directive has been given to teachers not to cane students again. Those times, even if there is a slight mistake, they will ask you to read. I remember secondary school, they've been asking the boys to uproot a whole tree for punishment. But now, nothing of that sort. We said we are learning from the Western world. And the Western world, they don't lash them. They have their way of doing things. But trust me, they are white, we are black. Our trainees differs from theirs. So it's because of the indiscipline and the directive that have been given that such punishment should be taken out of the school. That's the main cause of all the staffs. Can you just imagine a student using cutlass
on a fellow student?
On his fellow student. Yeah. Does it make sense? No. We were here where incident of 2 students arguing on whose parent is rich. Yeah. And at the end of the day, one was stabbed to death. And nothing. So all these things are signs and signals that should prompt our leaders that the rate at which the removal of this punishment is, bearing fruits of indiscipline in the schools. We should do something about it. But we are not doing anything. As a student, why will you bring gun to the school? What are you coming to use it for? Are you a farmer? Are you a hunter? And this is a school where you have students, your colleagues. Well, are they animals that you are going to hunt in the school that you are sending? What's the name? Guns. And students, they'll challenge you. Oh, definitely. This gun is not a gun. If you feel like it's a gun, then try it. And you went ahead shooting this innocent girl, trying her best to become someone in future for her mom. Because when I saw the video, she was really crying. She said she wasn't even crying because of herself, but she was crying for her mother. She was feeling the pain of her mother.
Yeah.
That she's now going to be a burden
to her mom.
And she will definitely be a liability. This is a student that was not born blind. She came out very normal, and because of a slight mistake, was sent abroad. Even if they should arrest this small boy, it is not going to restore her sight. Yes, it's not going to restore her sight. So the rate at which indiscipline is becoming rampant in our schools, we have to check it. We should bring back the old ways. Yes, the old ways of punishing students. All these things, all those punishments, it impacts some sort of fear in you that certain things you wouldn't do. And I think in the northern region also, a student stabbed a teacher in the eye.
Just because I think he was late for class.
Exactly.
Wow.
And the teacher, those kind of stubborn students that will not come to class, and they don't even care who the teacher, like they don't care who you are. And then the teacher is trying to correct you. You stabbed him in the eye. And up to now, GES, nothing. I've not seen them serving a letter to these students. It got to a time they were arresting the student to guide or aid in investigation. And it got to a time they were like the guy was on a run. And up to now, we don't know what happened, whether they arrested him, whether he was detained, whether the court was there, the case was adjourned. We didn't hear anything.
But do you think that a punishment should be meted out to the students involved, especially to the father, because allegations or purportedly the firearm is for the dad, and he brought it to school? So do you think a punishment should be meted out to him, or he doesn't have a hand in it?
Punishment. The punishment will. The man will go through punishment, or a punishment will be given to him if the child, the boy is a juvenile, or the boy is underage, and he cannot be arrested or detained just like the way we do to people that are beyond 18 years. But arresting the father, no. The gun is the word. You see, I don't know, is the father a soldier man or he's a hunter? Nah. They didn't really specify.
Exactly.
So it might be this too. Either the man is a soldier, a police, or
a security personnel,
or a farmer or a hunter. Because it is only these 4 people that have guns in their residence. But as a normal as we are, why would I have gun? Even if a police should see me with gun, I'll be arrested if that gun is not registered.
Yeah.
So in a way, I think the dad will be blamed, but I'm not sure he will be punished. He will be blamed because why will you leave this gun at a place where this child sees it and then he picks it up? I remember those days when if my mom goes out and then she buys, what's the name, this medicines to kill rats. She doesn't leave it at places where you will see her, because she will be like, just like the way I've been buying million, and then within a twinkle of an eye, the million is finished. You go and see the same thing, and you'll be like, oh, then
you take it.
You take it, and then it's another thing. So my mom will always tie this thing and hide it somewhere that you will not see, because she feel like it's poisonous. Your recklessness may cost her a lot, because if you should take this and you die, she'll feel the pain more, because you are her daughter, right? So as a parent, something like this should not be left at places where children can't. And you see, children, and they are
very inquisitive.
Exactly. They want to try. How does it feel like? Oh, this gun, is it? And especially when you like watching these war movies and stuff, where they use guns, knife. When you're there, you also be doing that kung fu styles. But you see, those things are edited, and what we see, we want to put it into practice.
Exactly.
So the man, well, he may be held responsible, but I'm not sure he will be punished. This boy, he should be jailed though.
Jailed, seriously. He has caused harm.
Exactly. And I saw a situation where someone was like, he should marry the girl. They should make sure
marry the young lady. No,
they should make sure that he goes to come and marry this girl, because she's blind though.
True.
She's blind, so she has become like, oh Jesus, this is very painful.
Yeah.
Do you know what mothers go through you sent your mom mekwaba, and then you are in the house and they just call you, Regina, just this kind of fraudsters. They did one to my auntie. She nearly died. They called her in the house that your daughter has collapsed, so she's in the hospital. And the way my auntie was behaving, just imagine, like, let's just relate it to this woman's case. You're in the house and then they call you, thinking it is a good news. Your daughter has been shot in the eye. Okay, that's fine. But at the end of the day, she can't see.
She can't see.
The boy needs to be jailed. Justice has to be served. And not only that, we should bring back the old ways of punishing students and making them know that you are a student. Behave as such. Now, students do not behave as students.
No.
They behave like some adults. Excuse me, like we smokers and stuff. You are in school, but you are high. So
when you read,
we should do something about it. It's becoming unbecoming.
It's high time the Ghana Education Service does something about it, because the indiscipline rising in our schools these days is on the rampant, and it looks like they are not doing, or they are not putting in measures to make sure that this indiscipline is being kept. And also, we plead that students, especially parents of these students, should make sure that they discipline their kids. It's not only teachers who need to discipline their kids. So, moving straight to today's news headline: Ghana to enact law against misinformation and disinformation. Sam George. The Minister for Communication, Samuel Nati George, has revealed that his ministry will soon present a legal document to Parliament outlining measures to tackle misinformation and disinformation in the country. He explained that once the Parliament has reviewed and considered the document, it will be passed into law to address the issue effectively. I will represent a specialized legislation document on misinformation and disinformation before Parliament to be passed into law in its next meeting to create a clear legal framework for law enforcement, he said during a press briefing. The Ningo Prampram member of Parliament also cautioned that no one will be spared when found guilty of spreading misinformation and disinformation. Notice is served. Once the law is passed, we will clamp down on you if you are engaged in misinformation. He then called for a collaborative approach to tackle the menace. We have a collective civic duty to be mindful in our communication, the MP said. In a spirit of full transparency, the law is needed. In Africa, as in other parts of the world, misinformation and disinformation continue to pose serious challenges that require collaborative efforts from government, civil society, media, and tech companies. So this is what Sam Nati George, our Minister for Communications, is saying. He would be presenting this law before Parliament for them to legalize it, and definitely there will be a punishment for it. Misinformation and disinformation. It has got to a point where we really spread false information, and as he said, whatever we say we need to be careful with it. The last time I said, even though we have freedom of speech, our speech is limited to certain things, and it boils down to misinformation and disinformation. You tend to say certain things you are not supposed to say. So, Ms. Debbie, with this, we've been crying, especially media have been crying about the rate at which people are spreading false information, and we can even use TikTok or social media for example, how people sit there with the data they buy, with their bundle they buy, and spread information wrongly about people, to the extent of it getting to our vice president, our president, and some ministers in Parliament. So do you think that with this initiative, or with this legalization of misinformation and disinformation, do you think that it would be effective?
It will be effective, very, very effective. You know, this misinformation and disinformation stuff has led to a lot of chaos and stuff. And you see, it's very sad when you see people sitting down saying things that are not true. I mean, false information to cause panic and stuff. And then you see, because we say that, oh, we are in a democratic country, freedom to speak, I mean, freedom to express yourself, your opinions and your views. We've taken advantage over that, and we are doing more than necessary. As you said, TikTok, you will see a lot of people doing videos and stuff, and I mean the kind of words they are using, and sometimes top officials, the way they communicate to them as if they are their age mates or their class. And even with that one, it's very bad. But then some people also use that same platform to relay information that do not even exist. You know, on Facebook, I've been seeing there is this page that sends infographics and stuff. I don't want to mention their name. And most of these infographics they send, it's very catchy. But then you tap on it to read, and then the topic does not even tally with the information they are relaying out there. So you see people commenting and they'll be like, what sort of, nonsense is this? So they actually do that to attract you. So bringing out this bill will help us fish out these people. And then when we fish them out and they are being made to face the consequences of what they are doing, it's going to minimize this misinformation and stuff. And even some of our top officials are doing the same. When you make a claims without solid evidence, you're actually relaying a misinformation out there. And because of this, I can even say that most of these scammers have taken that as a yardstick, and they are also doing same. You receive information right now, they'll tell you it's from the MTN office. You will be on the round to MTN office and they'll be like, madam, the information you received is not from our office. It is from scammers. So misinformation and disinformation, as Samnate George is saying, is very good, and I think that is a bold step he has taken. And then to some of our media houses, you know, when it comes to relaying vivid information, it has to do with the media house, because everything that we do is on social media, whatever. When we want to tell the government something, we pen it down, we write it, and it is an information we post out there. So we need to be careful with the kind of things we post out there, because mind you, you are not reading it alone. A lot of people are reading it. Ghanaians are reading it. So we should be careful. Some of these media houses have actually promoting misinformation.
Exactly.
Because they want to win favor from let me say a political party or something, and then they write things that, I mean, it's not true. I can't remember, there was a situation concerning a political official in government, and the person was interviewed though. After the person was interviewed, you know, these media houses, when they interview the person, they write a story about it, and then they post it on their page. What they've written per what the person is saying in the audio, it's a different thing. And you see, I will say that most of these media houses are causing chaos. This misunderstanding between some political parties is because of some of these media houses. Because you invite me on your show, you ask me a question, what I said was not what you've relayed out there, and then my colleague in other political party read that, and then he feels like, let's say maybe the topic that was discussed was concerning maybe another political party B, and I'm in political party A, and then what you went out to write was totally different from what I said said concerning political party B. Imagine political party B going to say that. How will you feel? You'll be like, what is this? And you see, we are causing chaos in this country. So as a media house, we also need to be very, very careful with the kind of information we put out there, because just as we make the country or we push communication forward, we can also cause chaos. Not that we can cause chaos. Some are
already causing chaos.
Some are already causing chaos.
But do you think that education or awareness should be implemented for people out there? Because it looks like people, even though we are educated, but we have educated illiterate people who do not really think upstairs, excuse my language. But do you think that we need to educate people out there, especially our elderly and also the youth, on misinformation and disinformation and the cost of it?
Yes, we need to. I remember in was it in 2021? Maybe I am wrong remembering
with the time,
the year or stuff, but I can't remember. Shatawale, he came out and he was like, was it as if he said he was shot or something, and it's causes like everybody was like, what's happening? It's caused panic to the extent that the IGP has to cause his arrest.
True.
You remember that?
True. Yeah.
And they were like, the information he sent out there has caused panic.
Yeah. So
he needs to be, and he was arrested.
Yeah.
So I think education is key and very, very crucial. We see in at masters, maybe you have your masters. As you said, we have people that are educated and still illiterate.
Yeah.
They just went to the school for the certificate, not to learn and upgrade themselves. So it's very important for them to know that, see, that when we say misinformation, some people do not even understand.
Yeah.
When we say misinformation, this is what it meant. When we say disinformation, this is what it meant. These are the outcome of the misinformation, or when you relay a misinformed information, these are the consequences. And then you should let the public know that when you pass out a false information, these are some of the consequences you face. Because when you don't educate them on it, it will still continue. And it is on a rise because we see it all the time, but we are not working towards it. We see it all the time, but those people who pass false information out there are not being, should I say, arrested, or are not being questioned on what they have done.
It looks like they have the free will.
They have the free will. Just look at the lady that was calling, insulting Muhammad's mother.
Yeah. Up to now, nothing has been
President
done.
Muhammad is not even your class. This is someone who is a whole president we are talking about here. Your president as well. So you need to give him that respect. In as much as maybe he has done something that is wrong, that doesn't give you the guarantee. Because you have the airtime and it is your phone, you are calling his name, insulting him, saying stuff and saying things, and you see, and there will be the same people that will come out begging. When they come out begging, we should not just be too emotional to be like, Enyeshe. We are saying Enyeshe, and then it keeps on keeping on. So we just have to, make sure that those people faces the law, and I'm sure that we won't hear of anything like that. But with some judge, that's a good one.
All right. Thank you very much. So proceeding to our next newspaper review. Government plans to export Ghanaian labor to tackle unemployment, Rashid Pelpa reviews. The Minister for Employment and Labor Relations, Dr. Rashid, has revealed that the government is working on a strategy to export Ghanaian labor to countries in need of skilled workers as part of efforts to reduce unemployment in the country. Dr. Rashid said Ghana is receiving increasing requests for its labor force from countries across the globe. Beyond the domestic set, what we can do to tackle unemployment is to look at how we can export Ghanaian labor to other countries that need us, he said. He noted that countries in Europe, Canada, the Gulf, and even parts of Africa have expressed interest in Ghanaian workers. There have been consistent requests for Ghanaian labor all over the world. Quite recently, I received the ambassador of Barbados to Ghana, and the request she made was for Ghanaian nurses. Dr. Rashid said the demand for Ghanaian workers abroad is a testament to their quality and professionalism. He explained that it is only logical to explore international job opportunities for unemployed Ghanaians, especially given their reputation abroad. So with what he just said, people would be leaving the shores of Ghana to other countries to be working, and according to him, this would curb, or not curb, but this would slow or limit unemployment in our country. So we have Mr. Omari with us today. No, Madam Omari, because I'm being decent today. So we have Mr. Omari with us. We would be taking his thoughts on this issue. How do you think the government would ensure that fair labor practices, safe working conditions, and adequate compensation for Ghanaian workers abroad will be met?
First of all, good morning to our listeners. It's a good call in the first place. Unemployment has been one of our headaches, our major headaches in this country, especially for the youth. Most of them graduate from school and they have nothing to do with their skills. So this opportunity coming on board is a good call. All we are asking is that they decentralize it. It shouldn't come in any party colors. It shouldn't come with any favoritism. It should be given on merit. Every citizen should have the privilege, the access to enjoy this opportunity. Once you meet the requirements, I think whatever needs to be done to push you out there should. But then also we should make sure we get something out of it as a country. As we are pushing them there, aside the individuals gaining employment and earning something for themselves, what is the country itself also gaining? Secondly, in the long term, what are we doing to make sure we don't push people out of our own shores to serve somewhere before they can make a living? What are we doing as a country in the long term? The next 10 years, are we still going to depend on other countries to get employment for our people? Because there is nowhere like home. No matter where you are, maybe the conditions they might never favor you, but just because you need work. So they should also safeguard the safety and the conditions of these people they are pushing to other countries. They should make sure they are looked after very well, comfortably, just the way they might have been taken care of in their own homes. So yes, it's a great call, honestly, but we should be looking at long term, so that in the next 10, 15, 20 years, we are still not going to depend on other countries to get employment for our people.
All right, Ms. Debbie.
Yeah, so unemployment, as he said, you see, it's a major concern in this country, and any government that will come into power, I think the first thing that most of this Ghanaian relay out to them is to tackle unemployment in this country. So if this is what he's saying, is it going to be a lasting thing that each and every Ghanaian will get employed, or it's just a hearsay something, and at the end of the day they are going to fish in their own political, sisters and brothers into the initiative? So I feel like if they are bringing out something, it should be something that will favor all Ghanaians, and at the end of the day bring out a positive result and not a negative result. As I said, unemployment is a whole lot. Citizens are feeling the heat, and it's just painful for you to complete and then not having a work to do. So if that's what he's saying, I feel like it should be extended to all. Everyone should benefit from it. It should not be to political faithfuls.
Everyone should benefit from it. Then it means we all be leaving the shores of Ghana very soon. Because definitely some people need to stay back to oversee things, and
it's very necessary. Like, you see, the problem now is if you send them there, how sure are you that they are going to come back? Because me, I'll be sincere. If you send me there, I won't come back. I won't come back. I won't come back. But you see, the initiative he is taking, it's a nice one. Like, it's not bad to, send workers out there for them to learn, explore. It will be very nice for you to go out there, explore, and then come back to help your people. But it will be very sad as well for you to go and then you will not come back. And see, let's just call a spade a spade. If they are sending 99 people out there, I'm sure it will be only 1% that will come back.
That would come back.
Was Nipano why not doing that? We're prepared, but it's the only thing that will make them to remember their country is
maybe their family.
No, for them to sign a contract. Sending them offshore to go and work and stuff. They can only come back if a contract is being signed that, okay, I'm sending you there to learn, say 3 years or maybe 4 years. After that, Masa, you have to come back.
But you know, with this, even at that, people can still go through the process and get legal documents there and overstay.
You see, I don't know, but I was told that the working condition there is very, very favorable.
Very favorable.
And just imagine you being employed there, and then your work is, good enough. You are bringing us positive. Which company will lay off an employee that is very good?
No, they won't.
There's an employee that is up to tax. They won't let you go like that. Even if your time is due, they will have to do everything in their means and power to make sure that they sustain you. And if that happens, it's a good news. But hey, you have to remember, you have to come back to your country to help. But if it is media, hey,
you wouldn't come back. Okay, so Dr. Rashid, this is a very great initiative, as we all are seeing, and we would agree that it would one way or the other help limit unemployment in Ghana. But this is just a temporary solution at the moment. What are some measures these people are putting in place to make sure that unemployment is kept totally or is eradicated totally in our system? You know, yesterday I witnessed something, and actually I was sad. A very young, handsome, vibrant man was selling shaving stick in traffic. I saw him and I was like, no, I have to buy this shaving. Even though I don't use shavings, I had to buy it. 5 cedis. I had to buy it. This boy was looking all innocent, very handsome, very gentle. And I was just telling Asinam that, do you think that if there was work to do, this guy would be standing here doing this? So the government needs to get a lasting and permanent solution to unemployment because it's really on the rise. So moving to our last headline for today. Government targets 2027 to scrap the double track system in SHS. Education Minister. The Minister for Education, Haruna Idrisu, has announced that the government is working towards phasing out the double track system in senior high schools by 2027. Speaking at the meeting with members of the Conference of Heads of Assisted Secondary School in Sunyani, Mr. Idrisu said the move is part of broader reforms aimed at improving secondary education across the country. We expect that by the year 2027, the double track system will be a thing of the past, he declared. The double track system was introduced in 2018 as a temporary measure to accommodate the surge in student enrollment under the free SHS policy. While it has helped absorb the increased members, it has also attracted criticism for its impact on academic schedules and student-teacher engagement. To facilitate the transition, the Education Minister disclosed that the government will implement several key initiatives, including revisions to the curriculum and changes to how the Ghana Education Trust Fund is administered. So, should I say, at long last, or should I say finally, the double track system will be scrapped. And please note, it's not the free SHS that is being scrapped. I know that some people would relate it to the free SHS being scrapped, but the keynote here is the double track system in SHSs. We have, should I say, lack of infrastructures. We are low on certain amenities. We are low on certain equipment these SHS need in the schools. So I'll start with Debbie. Are you happy as I am? Just a quick one. Are you happy as I am, or you are also against it?
Oh no.
Okay.
I'm happy. I'm very excited. You know, this free SHS was a very good one, and a lot of parents applauded it because for them they feel like it have eased burdens. So you see, anything in this world has its positive and negative aspect, and the previous government was recommended because it brought the free SHS. So with the double track system being totally scrapped, or will be totally scrapped in 2027, it's a good one, because see, you go to school for 2 months or 1.5 months, you come back home to sit for 4 good months. Those times that we didn't experience double track, we were not even able to complete the syllabus. Just imagine you going to school for 1 month and then coming home to sit back 3 months. And you see, parents who do not have the means to pay for extra classes, I mean, these students have to go back home walking about aimlessly as if they do not have anything to do. And it was actually, even though they say it's free SHS, trust me,
it's not free.
Yes, it's not really free. But I feel like with the scrapping of the double track, it has already started.
Okay.
I think with some schools, they don't run double track. They run it the normal way I have experienced. So with scrapping it, it's a very good one, so that the students will know. You know, as it stands now, when you go to school in March, most of these students do not know when they will vacate. Even if they vacate, they do not even know where they are supposed to resume school, unless GS brings out a notice that this, you'll be coming back to school maybe in 2nd March, you'll be coming back to school maybe in 4th April, so prepare and then you come back to school. But you see, I remember those times, BEC is always written in June. In June, so you prepare July, August, you prepare for July, August, and then September you go to SHS 1. So you know that WASI starts, I mean, practicals of WASI starts in April, and then because WASI students in the senior high school will complete before BEC. So that thing is already in mind. You know that in June I'll be writing BEC, in September I have to go to school. So parents are also on their guard and they are preparing, doing everything possible to make sure that, I mean, everything is done, and then they go to school. But with this double track system, trust me, most of these parents are stressing themselves. They are stressing themselves because there is no much time for them to prepare. You go to school 1 month, you come home 3 months, you don't even know when you are going to school, and these parents are already stressed out, looking for money to sort their walls to go back to school. So I feel it's a very, very good one. Yes, and please note, as she said, they are not cancelling free SHS. They are rather taking out a portion that they feel like is not going to help improve the initiative.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Omari.
It's a good thing to, I mean, resetting the educational system as a whole, and the double track system is a part of it. We all know this double track came in because we lacked infrastructure to accommodate the free SHS beneficiaries. If we are scrapping it in 2027, right?
Yeah, 2027.
Are we just scrapping it for policy sake, or we are scrapping it in regards to building infrastructure to accommodate these kids? Because the policy is still weak and active. And looking at things now, it has become more attractive under this government. And so people are actually going to be more willing to be part of this initiative or this policy. So if that is the case, then we should also be looking at the possibility of the number of beneficiaries even increasing in the coming years. So if we are ascribing the double track system, which was put in place to accommodate the outnumbered students or beneficiaries that we've had from this policy, what are we doing to replace that? Yes, it's a good thing, we need to, but then it's a much more better thing if we are replacing it with a much better system, which is by building infrastructure to accommodate the kids. So has that plan been put in place yet? Have there been any discussions surrounding all these things yet? Because 2 years is not far. We are even looking at 1.5 years now. It's no more 2 years. So I think government should rather be proactive with making sure before the scrapping of this thing goes, we have the adequate infrastructure to accommodate the kids.
All right, thank you very much. So this is where we end today's news review live on Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. Up next, we have the Debbie's Grill.
Good morning and thank you for always joining me on Debbie's Grill, where we bring out truth and stories that matters to the state. Today I want to continue from where I started yesterday, concerning cocaine plane saga that has to do with Member of Parliament for Asin South, Reverend Intim Fojo. Now, you know that he brought out a claim, and it was alleged that Emmet flight has in it cocaine. And it's some things that he feels like needs to be investigated. And this whole issue sparked a debate where a lot of people are calling for him to bring out a vivid evidence, a solid evidence to prove his fact. And I came across this yesterday and I was like, wow. Emmet International has also brought out their concerns, regarding all this saga that has to do with them carrying a cocaine and a lot of stuff. So this was actually a colleague of mine. He's also a journalist as well. And they've sent a message. So I will read it and then we will know what they are saying. So my colleague who asked this question is I am Joshua Kojo Mensah, a broadcast journalist in Accra. Recently, one of your aircraft landing and subsequent departure from the Kotoka International Airport on March 25th, 2025 has sparked public debate. The allegation is that the supposed air ambulance landed in Ghana without any patients on board and departed days later without a patient. Also, a Ghanaian member of parliament says he has information that point to possible drug trafficking or money laundering. I would therefore like to seek further information on the said flight and the reason for its entry into Ghana. Hopes to hear from you soon. And this is what the Emmet or people responsible for this Emmet flight are saying. So thank you for your inquiry. Following, please find a statement for your story and please attribute to a spokesperson from Emmet International. So this is actually a spokesperson from Emmet International. On March 20th, 2025, Emmet aircraft NA23AM departed the United States for a scheduled international patient transport. As part of the planned flight path, the aircraft made multiple stops for fuel, including a stop at the Kotoka International Airport in Accra. Upon landing in Accra, the aircraft experienced a maintenance issue, 2 blown tires that required replacement. No patient was on board at the time. To address the mechanical issue, a second aircraft was dispatched with the necessary replacement parts, supplies, and 2 maintenance technicians. Over the next several days, repairs to aircraft NA23AM were completed and it returned to US on March 25th following standard protocols. And upon landing in Ghana, the aircraft experienced maintenance issue. As I have said, 2 blown tires that required replacement, and no patient was on board as at that time. Following standard protocols, the required rest period for the flight crew. On its return, NA23AM made a plan for at Grand Canaria Airport. We will fully cooperate in any official inquiries into NA3AM presence in Ghana. We are confident that flight documentation and mission details will clearly demonstrate that aircraft was not, please underline that place for me, aircraft was not engaged in any illicit or illegal activity. So this is actually a letter written, the spokesperson for Med Flight, and what they are saying is that this allegation concerning their flight carrying cocaine, drugs, and a lot of stuff, it's illegal, but then they are ready. They are fully ready to involve themselves in investigation or grant investigation if necessary. And this is what a lot of people are asking. Med Flight is out or has brought out a statement clarifying that they are not involved in any illegal means of drug trafficking or whatever we call it here. So then, to Reverend Mr. Intim Fojo, who claimed that this flight which landed at the Kotoka International Airport, has in it cocaine and a lot of drugs. This is what people are asking. Is his statement really true? Was it was it politically motivated to tarnish the image of the government, or it was for his own personal reasons? And then I believe that if you're coming out with a statement, you should have solid evidence or solid proof to back your claims. And you will notice that since this whole saga and a whole lot, people are calling for him to come out and speak for himself. You came out yourself. You presented yourself to Ghanaians that this is what you've noticed. This is what you have seen. Why are you now, drawing back and not bringing out, shall I say, the necessary evidences? Or maybe they are waiting for a legal procedure which they says the NIB didn't pass through the right processes to get to him, and a lot of stuff, with the minority leader also saying that they are being intimidated. Are they really speaking the truth? Because there is a question mark in this whole issue that has to do with Med Flight, carrying cocaine. And this is the people also saying that they are not engaged in any illegal activities. And I was happy when they said that they are very ready to grant an interview. They are fully ready if we want to interview them or interrogate them on the necessary things they are supposed to, or the necessary things we need to know from them. So, Mr. Intim Fojo, this comes back. The ball is still rolling back to your court. You have to come and prove yourself. Listen, no one is intimidating you. no one is preventing you, or nobody is actually doing anything to you, because you came out to yourself. And this is what we are saying. You said it. Come and prove yourself. This is very simple. Come and prove yourself. And the question is still hanging. They said they are not involved in any illegal activity. You are also saying they are involved in drug trafficking. So to clear our doubts, we are waiting for your response. Thanks for joining us on Debbie's Grill.
Thank you so much, Miss Debbie Adore. So on Debbie's Grill, we do not grill meat or fish, but rather we grill humans. Okay, so up next is I myself, bringing you Today in History and Did You Know? So today in history, 1981, Moche Mabusi, a South African singer, is born in Mankwe. Moche, best known for being a dancer, was born in Mankwe, South Africa on Saturday, April 11, 1981. Professional dancer and reality show personality who started off as a pro on Let's Dance, the German version of Strictly Come Dancing. She transitioned into being a judge on the show. 1979, Uganda's dictator Idi Amin is ousted by the Tanzania army and rebel forces. General Amin was removed from power when the Tanzanian army, supported by Ugandan rebels, invaded and took over Uganda. Uganda then entered the transitional period aimed at a return to democracy, a process that generated great political instability. 1961, Nigeria imposed sanctions on South Africa and implemented a total trade boycott. Nigeria imposed a trade boycott on South Africa due to objections against South Africa's apartheid policy. In the early 1960s, Nigeria had decided to ban all imports from South Africa and was reportedly in the process of refusing facilities for South African aircrafts. 2018, an Algerian Air Force plane crashes near Bois Farik, Algeria, killing 257 people. Moving to some Did You Know for today. Did you know that some lipsticks contain fish scales? Some lipsticks do contain fish scales, or rather a component derived from them. The ingredient in question is guanine, a crystalline material obtained from fish scales. Did you also know that cat urine glows under a black light? Cat urine glows under a black light, UV light, due to the presence of fluorescent molecules, specifically phosphorus and broken down blood proteins. Did you know that most people fall asleep in 10 minutes? The average person typically takes between 5 and 15 minutes to fall asleep. However, for some it may take 10 to 20 minutes. Falling asleep too quickly can also indicate a need for more sleep or even a medical condition. So this is where I would end today's Today in History and Did You Know live on GhanaTalks Breakfast Show. A very big thank you to our cherished listeners and also to our intelligent panelists, Ms. Deborah Adorso and Mr. Omari. So this is where we end today's first segment of the GhanaTalks Breakfast Show live on GhanaTalks Radio, but the show doesn't end here. Do well to stay put with us as we bring you the second segment of the discussion. Very insightful, very educative as well, with our brilliant panelist for the day.
Are you ready to amplify your business or brand's reach and make a meaningful impact in Ghana and beyond? Partner with GhanaTalks Radio today to connect with a diverse audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With GhanaTalks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. GhanaTalks Radio is not just a station, it is a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com or call +233 202 544614. GhanaTalks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
What do you want for breakfast? How do you want your breakfast?
English breakfast. French fries.
Koko nikosi alo komi kesheto.
Wache.
Well, Gobe is the real deal.
Join us on GhanaTalks Radio. Let's serve you a buffet of breakfast.
From news headlines review, current affairs to social issues.
Entertainment, sports, and all the trending stories live on our mobile app and across all socials from Monday to Friday 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
With me, Pakwesi Omare,
Regina Bless,
Deborah Adoso,
and I am Esinal Fiagbedu. This is GhanaTalks Breakfast Show.
GhanaTalks Radio, #1. We bring you local news, business news, international, sports, and entertainment news. Right here on GTR.
Good morning and welcome to the morning news broadcast on GhanaTalks Radio. My name is Deborah Adoso. In today's news highlight, Traders Union Congress warns over ECG privatization. Richard Ofori Achimaimboedi, confirmed mayor of Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly. Aten South resident urged President Mahama to intervene in Reverend Tim Fojo's flight saga. Rashid Tanko slams NIB delay arrest of Asen South Member of Parliament. There's and many more coming up shortly in business, sports and showbiz. Do stay with me. To our first story, the Traders Union Congress has strongly opposed any attempt to privatize the Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, warning such move could result in skyrocketing electricity tariffs and mass dismissal of workers. According to the TUC, ECG's financial struggles are largely due to excessive political interference in its operations. The union pointed to issues such as the distribution of political meters, take-or-pay contracts, frequent changes in managing directors, politically influenced board appointments, and meddling in procurement processes as key factors undermining the utilities' performance. Speaking at press conference in Accra during the annual National Executive Council meeting of the Public Utility Workers Union of Traders Union Congress, General Secretary Timothy Nyame stressed that ECG could thrive if these challenges were properly addressed. The further warned that privatizing the company will come at a high cost to both workers and consumers. Let's listen to what they have to say.
To bear on the operations of ECG and NETCO. This will provide the necessary checks and balances for improved efficiency. We also recommend that the presidency should delegate board appointment to the minister responsible for the sector. Second, the MD of ECJ must be given clear deliverables and must be held to straight account on those deliverables. PRC and SIGA are expected to create, monitor, and ensure the realization of such deliverables. Third, the position of the Energy Minister must be strengthened regarding the SOEs in the energy sector. Stated differently, the ministerial oversight of critical decisions must prevail in the sector. Fourth, the procurement of electricity generation capacity must be done through open competitive tender. Generation tariffs must also be renegotiated in cedis and not in dollars. Fifth, the sanctions regime under the PRC Act needs to be reformed to make it possible for PRC to sanction individuals holding key positions in the energy sector for neglecting of responsibility and or abuse of authority. Sixth, the Ministry of Energy must reform the SHEC to make ECG a key partner in the implementation of delivery of the projects. Last but not the least, we urge the government to take proactive measures immediately to end all forms of political interference in the energy sector, including the management of ECG. In conclusion, it must be emphasized that ECG remains a critical national asset, essential for driving Ghana's economic development, ensuring national sovereignty and energy security, and fostering social equity, while the challenges facing ECG are significant, ranging from political interference to operational inefficiencies. Privatization is not a viable or sustainable solution.
Moving to other story, Richard Ofori Achiman Boydi has been confirmed as the Chief Executive Officer of the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly. He previously served as the Municipal Chief Executive Officer of Obuasi under the previous National Democratic Congress administration. Following President John Dramani Maham's nomination, Boydi's recent victory comes after a decisive vote by the Assembly members within the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly. He secured 55 votes out of the 56 votes cast, confirming his victory. Following his confirmation as the Chief Executive for the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly, the Ashanti Minister Dr. Frank Amoakuhene urged the new Kumasi Mayor to prioritize decongesting the city, improve sanitation, and work to address key challenges at the KGTR market. He says slow development in the Kumasi Metropolis and pledged that the Regional Coordinating Council will collaborate with the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly to address issues confronting residents.
I, Richard Ofori Ajiman Bwendi, holding office of the Metropolitan Chief Executive.
Angry residents of Ascent South are urging President John Dramani Mahama to instruct security agencies to leave Member of Parliament Reverend Tim Fojo amid allegations of suspicious flight and potential drug trafficking. The residents believes the National Investigation Bureau should focus on investigating the suspicious flight rather than targeting Member of Parliament. They stress that the allegations made by Reverend John Tim Fojo should not be politicized but should be dealt with fairly. This follows an alleged two suspicious flights carrying suspected cocaine and cash in US dollars. However, President John Mahama has since ordered a full investigation, directing security agencies to collaborate with Fojo to verify the claims.
The war Ascent South constituency. Omampeni Mahama. Na ya to twice really say ahoden a wo use here na wo ma eye NI before e call ye MP honorable Reverend John Tim Fojo ni fie say enko mo kwa akwache no yes really say ahoden na eye security agency so mo de call ni fie no omo pata ahoden na enye den enye hwehwema ye Reverend Tim Fojo so say eye enubone eni sika bi aba eye plan bi aba befa ekọ ewo amanania I want to ask you, and now Omampeni Mahama, and that security agencies now, not how much me I can. Where the area you see Moha, now any bread and Abba Ascent South, constituency. Yan can be a ship, Yawahana and the Yanity, say security agencies abo ewura yewura ntim fodwo fie say omo kwa akwache no waye dan ya say de ensema yewura ntim fodwo kire na dile say odusi say plane bi aba befa cocaine ene sikabon bi hu edwa a ekwa abanane no eno omo ye dan omo ekwa ana wakwa akwache no ya ten sa asem we yeyemu hyeye yeyemu duru ye pa na de yesra omapani mahama ne say sisi de ekame say Ghana ha say no untumi mbie wa no entra bibia anase bibi kwaso a untumi enkate ade say ena ekoso anase say untumi entwe aban no engina ho say ebia say na eko na yusu say yenye ni say anase enkamu ye ni say ya enkeye sa entami ayi rantin fodo eche na dwin ena ofa ha na a police for etano wofa ha na asoja for etano wofa ha na national security for etano yenye timemfo wa attention ye de friend say o ma pani mahama ye stress obe plan o mantie no ye stress obe plan o mantie no na wakata acho mo say o munjai hwan a mo didi ye rantin fodo no ye rantin fodo eyam na hye bedwani a ye nyina eyam ho ayeto aba edema no and this ene samo tata na dia na samo ta a kire ye say aya sensors bo nyina na mo ba be tata ye aka say wo ba sensors we MP ye ni NDC MP ene ye ni MVP MP or ye member of parliament for Aten South and this ye person atem no ye hu du kwa bi o ma ye betre na ye jai agency ta wo so omboa na ehwehwem fi ko na etumi aba bonten na obia te no ho ase na enko ba ye say we aka atem ye pekwa ye befa so ni aka na no atum anu tie tata no ye mpane sa na ye tan eto eye enkra.
In related news, a computer expert and Deputy Director of Elections and IT for the National Democratic Congress, Rashid Computer Tanko, has sparked controversy by stating that Reverend Ntim Fodjo should have been arrested the day he held a press conference of allegations of suspicious flight and potential drug trafficking. According to him, false claims should not be made public without solid evidence, referring to his actions as reckless and potentially obstructive to the investigation. He added that respected public officials should not be granted the space if engaged in such situations, whilst assuring Ghanaians to embrace themselves as the warm-up to reset the country.
The security agencies, they wasted time. The day he held a press conference, he should have been arrested on that day. You see, an honorable person like that should be the first person, respecter of the law. He should be arrested. He is an honorable person. On top of it, he's a man of God. Okay, maybe he's supposed to be, but he's a man of God. Okay, these are people who revere a lot in this country. Men of God, the religious leaders. If you have evidence, enough evidence, you have. Look, he's a ranking member on the Security and Intelligence Committee, right? Right. You have a chamber. You know the security agencies. You know their office. You know the bosses of this thing. Why couldn't you go straight to them, hand over this one, if indeed he has the security of the country at heart? So reckless. These are destructive tendencies. And such people shouldn't have been allowed to sleep in their home when they make such reckless statements. She have been picked up nonsense. You didn't have waited for the honorable minister to even ask that this gentleman should be arrested. Look, that's their campaign strategy. They are yet to see more. We are even warming up. We haven't started anything yet. I'm telling you, Ghanaians should brace themselves. More people. I'm saying that we are warming up.
To do what?
To clean up the state.
How?
We have to, if you have to reset a country, characters like that, you have to pick them. They are not authoritarian. You have enough information that borders on national security. This one borders on national security. The integrity of the state. Our government is less than 3 months. If we are not getting to 100 days, today is 92 days, right? 93. And somebody is already saying that cocaine, the person just meant to destroy the image of the country. That is their modus operandi. They are not satisfied that Ghanaians have given them this in 38.2%. They are not happy. So they want to destroy the country. Look, they want to run away from. Have you seen the recent expose of Japa? Comrade Japa. These are the characters we are dealing with. They have these containers and everything. They are in their bedrooms. Oh. The containers and everything. MPP leadership. I'm saying this because I know them. I don't know the people governing the country. Wasn't the MPP who governed the country for 8 years? Under their regime, excavators were flying. Now containers are flew. We are seeing a lot of containers to carry money and this thing, gold. Some have put it in their bedroom. Some have put it in freezing. Japan is running after them, and you say we are arresting people. I do not criminals. I do not destructive tendencies of the state.
Meanwhile, amid international protests of the medical transport flight NA223AM have denied any involvement with illicit drug trade and money laundering activities following claims made by Reverend Intim Fojo regarding the aircraft's presence at the Kotoka International Airport in response to a mail query by EIB Network Joshua Kojo Mensah. The US-based ambulance company categorically denied any wrongdoing, emphasizing the aircraft stopped in Ghana was a routine technical layover and not part of any covert operations. The U.S. Med reaffirmed its commitment to transparency and cooperation. Moving on, the government has commenced the demolition of structures at the Waja Ramsar site after transport company Kitec failed to comply with President John Dramani Maham's directive to reverse illegal land filling in the area. The president had issued the order during a recent tour of flood-prone zones in Accra, instructing the company to undo the reclamation at its own cost. This move was aimed at facilitating proper dredging and preventing flooding as the rainy season approaches. Despite the directive, a follow-up inspection by the Greater Accra Regional Security Council on Thursday revealed no action had been taken by the company. In response, the Greater Accra Regional Minister Linda Oklo cautioned that the law would be enforced if the company failed to comply with the directive. The warning followed concerns that the defiance could jeopardize flood prevention efforts in the region. Subsequently, the demolition exercise has begun to restore the site and enable plant dredging works to proceed. Now to the world of business, the Ghana Revenue Authority GRA has commenced a stakeholder dialogue aimed at adopting strategic measures to reverse declining trends in revenue and mobilization under the value-added tax system. The engagement forms part of effort to rally stakeholders' support for proposed VAT reform outlined in the government 2025 budget and economic policy. Over the years, Ghana has struggled to make significant gains in VAT collection, with the tax contributing only 20% of total annual revenue. Despite a 17% growth in VAT collection last year, the Ghana Revenue Authority is consulting stakeholders and experts to explore ways of enhancing revenue from the VAT regime. Acting Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Anthony Kwesi Sapon, expressed optimism that the reforms will improve compliance and boost government revenue. The occasion also marked the launch of this year's Tax and Good Governance Month, observed every April. When we look at the tax laws, we realize that there are many revenue opportunities within the system. We enforce compliance and taxpayers fulfill their obligations. We can generate the resources needed to develop our nation, he says. We are also using the platform to encourage all taxpayers to comply, especially during April, which is dedicated to ensuring taxes are duly paid, he added. This year's Tax and Good Governance Month is themed Transforming for Impact and Growth, accelerating domestic revenue mobilization through effective compliance tools. Speaking at the event, Ashanti Regional Minister Dr. Frank Amoakohene assured businesses that the government will address their concerns regarding high import duties and the cost of transporting goods from the airport. The dialogue also featured discussions on key issues affecting the country's tax system. Other Ghana Revenue Authorities officials present included Commissioner of Customs Brigadier General Glover Annan, Commissioner of Support Services Dr. Alex Adomakumensah, and Commissioner of the Domestic Tax Division Apentin Jamera. Now, outgoing president of the Ghana Olympic Committee, Ben Nonu Mensah, has issued a strong caution to the government against the infiltration of partisan politics into the management and development of sport in the country. Speaking in an interview, Nonu Mensah stressed that politics should be kept separate from sports administration to ensure growth and international credibility. Individuals in sports who do not understand the way international sports work may think that sports has to be political. No, I don't agree with them, he says. I am very much part of the National Democratic Congress structure in my constituency, but it only stops in my house. When I wear the cap of GOC president, I am not political. That's what it demands us to do, he added. He emphasized the importance of adhering to the International Olympic Committee's charter, which promotes political neutrality in sports administration. Anybody who believes in the charter of IOC will caution any government who wants to make sports political. It will not be good for the long-term development of our sports, especially it has to do with the Ghana Olympic Committee or National Federation, he stated. Nonu Mensah, who played a significant role in Ghana's successful hosting of the 13th African Games in Accra last year, urged government officials to allow stakeholders within the sport federations to manage their affairs independently. To some showbiz, Charterhouse Productions, organizers of the Telecel Ghana Music Award TGMA, have revised the date for the highly anticipated 26th edition of the award ceremony. Originally slated for May 3rd, 2025, the main event will now take place on Saturday, May 10th at the Grand Arena of the Accra International Conference Center. In an official statement, the organizers expressed regret over the change, noting it will affect other key activities leading up to the ceremony. The revised schedules as a master class to be held on Thursday, May 8th and pre-party Friday, May 9th. Meanwhile, voting is officially opened for fans to support their favorite artists. And that's how we wrap up for now on the morning news broadcast. As usual, my name is Deborah Adosu. Don't forget to log on to www.GhanaTalksRadio.com for more detailed information. Thanks for making time with me. Good morning.
All the power we need. All the music you want.
Are you ready to amplify your business or brand's reach and make a meaningful impact in Ghana and beyond? Partner with GhanaTalks Radio today to connect with a diverse audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With GhanaTalks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. GhanaTalks Radio is not just a station, it is a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com or call +233 202 544614. GhanaTalks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
What do you want for breakfast? How do you want your breakfast?
English breakfast, French fries.
Koko Nikosi, alo komi kesheto.
Wache.
Well, Gobe is the real deal.
Join us on Ghana Talks Radio. Let's serve you a buffet of breakfast.
From news headlines review, current affairs to social issues.
Entertainment, sports, and all the trending stories live on our mobile app and across all socials from Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
With me, Pakwesi Omare,
Regina Bliss,
Deborah Adosu,
and I am Esinal Fiagbedu. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
Ghana Talks Radio, #1.
Welcome to another edition of GhanaTalks Breakfast Show. This is GhanaTalks Radio. My name is Pakwesi Omare, and I greet you with a very, very cold good morning this Friday.
This is
I don't know how the weather is at your end, but mine has been very, very, very coldy, very cloudy, very. All the words are not coming. Some words are coming into my mind that I know people are going to misinterpret it, so I'm not going to use it. But you know, the weather has been quite better than what Judah served us yesterday. That's what I heard. I heard Judah was the one on duty yesterday, so the sun was a little bit, you know. But yes, this is GhanaTalks Breakfast Show. This is the weekend edition, the Friday groove. We will be having some more fun, catching some vibe on the show. And talking about the show, anchoring it with me this morning is the beautiful Ohema Bliss. I saw evangelist. Evangelist, the nickname yet Wally. I saw it here. And yet Jaman or Modebeye, worship dear minim no Modebeye. Also, the gentle. Today he came in a traditional fashion. Hey, assemble and cry.
You see, I won't let you even introduce me before I start talking, but they already know who is here.
Oh, okay.
It's me, the big. I'm introducing myself. And then Judah served us that weather yesterday, so we could have today.
So who is on duty today?
Today, I think it is Thomas. What is that one up there?
Thomas, the doubting one.
Yes, into a
Reggie?
Yeah.
How was your show this morning? I was on your show this morning.
Yeah, it was great.
Nice. Yesterday I attended the program with Regina. The show was very nice. The program was very nice.
Yeah,
you
very
enjoyed it, right?
Very.
Yeah, I also did. Charlie, big people they Ghana. Hey.
And they have money.
They have
cash.
I was the one receiving the envelopes, and the envelopes didn't come in cedis, dollars, pounds, dollars. I was like, hey. And now who be me shame muna me
Are you sure none of the envelope followed you home?
Please. But I was praying. I was like, who be me remember? And I says kate be mpai wa no be enjane. Na sika income ho. See actually be some make so kate ninti mi just
kate mpai crash tell you be hwehwe waje. Sika. Ya guza ampon ni lumba.
It's going to be a very great, exciting show this morning. The weather has come very favorable for us, so we are going to utilize it very, 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 very well. Getting into the conversations this morning, but before then, there's been another bust of the ECG cables. And a serious. This one seems like this is the largest bust so far. And the interesting part is that when you see the footage, when you watch the footage, you realize there's a forklift also left in the bushes.
Forklift, the boy is saying. Forklift, the boy is saying. Bank robbery. They go to bank robbery, and after they use their escape car to run away, they take that car along. When they get to a place, they leave the car there, burn it, and move forward.
But this one, they left it with whatever they stole. Like, so was the plan that someday they were going to come there with another truck? So they were going to use a forklift to load it into the truck.
No, not necessarily, but maybe the forklift might have broken down when they finished packing. So maybe they didn't even find it necessary to lift it to go to wherever it came from to fix it. Or it can also be that because if you leave the forklift there to the mercy of the weather, rain, sunshine, and all that, to all the weeds growing around it, you're not certain that by the time you return to pick your stuff, the forklift will be in a condition to lift anything. You get it?
Yeah.
So it might have been a reason. Maybe it was faulty or something. But if going into the issues, when you look at the number of rows of cables that are there, you can realize that the normal average Ghanaian is very wicked.
Like this is beyond wickedness.
It's very wicked. See, we live in a country where our electricity cables that sends electricity to our homes, our offices, our industries are hardly changed. That also contributes to the power losses that ECG suffers.
Okay.
Because cable, it can only hold the power for a certain number of years. After that, you start losing power.
Okay.
And you have to change it. When was the last time you saw ECG changing cables here in Accra?
Ache. Like Ache.
Who be that say area yaba?
Yes, a sankeke. It's almost like but say voluntarily yes Sunday.
Into your mommy and me, yes, we cannot do these things. And then if we are able to buy cables for extension in a village, in an area where they don't have access to electricity, now on kwa for kuntuna send up via and now kwa quarter fuel will be a via toma now so now they are kwa say. Mind you, cable no and the TV room. Do you know why they bundle it and then wama wrapping in a wooden crate?
No.
Because they don't want it to be exposed to certain things.
Oh, okay.
What they are kwa 2 room in Rihanna Wahona Pro, cable no is now exposed to rain, sand, the other. In this year, the contract now per free ECG. Yeah, the contract now now for fast cables. How sure say cables are there? You check. And I say, beating your board, you man saying now you envisage that it was going to work. It's not a nice thing at all. It's not. And then I think that the people behind this should be punished. They must be punished. Not should be. They must be punished. It's a must. You can't just turn a blind eye and then pretend that well, maybe a and all that. If we don't punish them, it means that every day we will go back and come back to the same thing.
Okay. The people needs to be punished, said by Mr. The Big Stephen. Reggie?
Yeah.
Have you seen the footage?
Nah, I've not seen it yet.
You might cry.
I might cry. Are you sure?
A dozen. Like a dozen.
Since you say Ghana for me, my bro. So I wouldn't waste my tears on them again.
Hey.
Have you given up on Ghana already?
Oh, I've already given up on Ghana.
But don't you think a lot of people are gradually giving up?
Yes,
people don't think
a lot.
Nothing can be done.
Especially the youth.
You see, a lot of people have, but all the developing nations, all the developed countries, be it America, be it in UK, be it in wherever, they all got to the stage we are in at a point.
How did they maneuver through that stage?
It took a conscious effort.
Of what? Of accountability?
No, not as a generation to change things. Not just accountability. Near what we are, the infant will be in 2002. And what is it? So one of the someone being up, so why is it accountability and him?
See, one thing about governance is that governance is precedence, is continuity.
Yes.
And this generation in Ghana, we are practicing a party governance.
It's like in that Ghana. In everywhere.
But Ghana is more like, and one thing about our political state is this: we inculcate people into the party, we groom them. Away my godfather, or not the realm. So whatever generation we are talking about, they are being nurtured by whichever generation brought them in.
See, but
nothing is going to change until accountability sets in.
Things are going to, you know why? Even if you nurture me, try to inculcate me into a certain court. I'm using court in the right way, not as in the bad way.
I get you.
Yes. So if you try to inculcate me into a court, I'm exposed to social media. I see how things are done in other countries. I have experienced it. Maybe I have lived outside the country. I have listened to stories from people telling me issues outside the country. If I cannot afford to live outside the country, what do I have to do if I become a leader? I have to make sure I bring some. So that's why I said we need a generation, a new generation, or this current generation, to put up a mindset that it is our time now. Let's change things.
The only thing that is going to inspire that generation to have that change of mind from this trend that we are having is if we see this current generation setting the pace for accountability. Otherwise, the whole set of inculcation is this: I'm bringing you into something. In whatever thing I'm bringing you in, we are brewed with corruption. Bringing you in is me telling you, Unim, a day we all say 3 CDs. Fakwa kasa 5 CDs. I don't na me do bemuno. It's no one mindset na me dem ma. What be do we are? What are you going to do?
You see, I'm not saying accountability is not important. It is. But generational mindset changing the mindset.
It takes something to inspire a generational mindset.
It takes one person to change that.
One person.
To be. Let me use the example of Singapore.
What we are talking about here is politics. We are not talking about some classrooms.
Let me tell you an example of Singapore. Before the 70s, Singapore was worse than Ghana. It took one president.
Let me tell you something.
It took one president, and he exerted himself, his mindset onto the nation to the extent that he tried. That's the reason why I said accountability is also important in whatever I'm saying. He prosecuted his own best man, and when his best man couldn't take it, he hung himself.
See,
so we need a mindset change coupled with accountability. You cannot just say we need accountability and leave the mindset change. Hey,
what I am saying is, I'm never saying that we don't need that mindset. What is going to inspire that mindset is the accountability. The mindset won't come without accountability.
What is going to inspire that mindset is a leader who is willing to take the bull by the horn.
And that is the accountability you are talking about.
Our president is not willing.
We are talking about a president who, in opposition, said that when he comes to power, the campaigns in Galamsey is whom he is going to arrest. How months has he been in power?
It's still in process.
How many arrests has gone on? Per their own figures, they've made over 400 arrests. What name of a campaign have you heard? When they were in opposition, what name didn't you hear? So is this the president who can pick whoever by the bull or the horn? Please.
You see, you just limited the scope of your conversation.
No. I was answering. No, I don't limit things. I have very broad conversations.
You limited the scope of the conversation.
I never did.
Now
I was answering in regards to.
The point of the whole conversation will be around the president now.
No, it won't be around.
It will be because you just brought
Reggie asked a specific question that. So do I think our president is not willing to be such a person?
He didn't talk about one president. He said, "Do you think our leaders?"
No.
I said president.
Our president. So you use one person. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. I understand you. But the whole thing about this, I wouldn't go into this Galamsey whatever because that's not what we are discussing this morning. If you want us to go there, we can, but I won't go there. You see, when you look at people who have led us, who would you say is the best among all of them?
None.
I would say Kwame Nkrumah. Do you know why? He came in with a mindset change. He came in to change the mindset of Ghanaians and African as a whole. And look at what he achieved. If you come in with the right mindset, the right mentality, you're going to achieve something. And accountability falls part of that mindset that you have to come up with. So it's not just about we are a bonnet mechanatum into a bonnet now watching the tomb. What else did you propose? Say, oh, men fast up one and I'm on papa. Because if the people are known to just crime, what they will do is commit crime. But if you introduce them to another mindset or another thing, which is good, and you start punishing them for the crime, they will have alternative to do the good. You understand?
So you are saying that the people in power now don't have any other alternative aside corruption.
One our car say, one our car say, it is inculcation. Yeah, inculcating you into certain things, and one our kind.
Yeah.
It is inculcating into certain things. Now, person you suddenly free more than now. You give the person an alternative.
What is that alternative? That's what I want to know.
What? So are you telling me that in spite of that alternative, no harder than inculcation? Now you're inculcating, you're breeding that thing in him. No, that option to perceive that breeding. No, it doesn't. Why one must have say can you?
No, I am a no.
No,
you can't twist what I said because I said it in a particular context. Yes, I said it in a particular context. What you are trying to do here is trying to downplay the fact that accountability is what will strike that mindset.
No.
You are trying to mainframe the mindset, the change of mindset as the platform for whatever we are seeking now. That is not it.
Where would accountability come from? Accountability doesn't live in a vacuum. It comes from the mindset.
So now the accountability still counts.
I never said
the
accountability.
The same way the corruption comes from the mindset. The corruption also comes from the mindset.
You see,
so what we need now is the accountability from the mindset to change that corruption mindset. It's as simple as that.
We are saying the same thing, but
we are not saying the same thing. Because what I said, if you had understood me in the first place, we would have been saying the same thing.
No, you see, I'm coming. You see, right now he says, if you use accountability in a mindset, it will change the corruption. What are we used to? Why one matter? What say? Yeah, chill back party my choice. You say, into you say, you say, into you say. And the enjoy say accountability matters. No, your choice say, you are, and yes, I know kind. Your choice say, you are.
You right now, you are even amplifying the whole point I've been trying to make.
That's why
you were saying something. That is why I said, said Nipana Urban. You were talking about mindset, and I was telling you that Nipana Urban are there or more day attitude the inculcation. You know more day attitude. So no matter what, say Nipana you good or you genuine before bedroom are there or more day ni bremu. Is this corruptive mindset?
Indeed, who corruptive mindset in front then I'll be what next do you do?
You hold people accountable.
No, you can't just hold people accountable without inculcating another mindset in them. Who holding accountable we are?
The accountable mindset is the inculcation. That next inculcation we are talking about. Everybody knows good and bad. But down for crying and born papa. It is up to what you empower them to do. And that is accountability.
Do you know empowerment also can come as a mindset?
Everything is from mindset. We are talking about the content of the mindset people are used to, people are attracted to. That is what we need to enforce.
I don't think we are speaking the same language, but you are seeing it from a different angle.
No,
and I'm coming from the different angle.
No,
you see, the whole point of
this conversation
is what?
Is if you had just accepted, say, accountability. What you did was you were trying to downplay the accountability.
No, I wasn't trying to downplay anything.
Mainframe mindset. Accountability comes from mindset. Corruption comes from mindset. It's as simple as that.
So
where we stand now, we need a leader. We need a leader. What we need now is the accountable. Say Mahama Edne Jinan and Naiso. Say we are holding people accountable. Mekasa meche campaigns are too. We starting Chiwoma. The next generation coming into politics, who is going to be attracted to Galamsey? That is accountability we are talking about. You are now getting me? Yeah. And see, it's not about or before frofi baby, benya mindset, krum BFI baby. I just saw about us an independent body. We are all coming into the party. That is one of the biggest problems we have. Every party has a system, has a structure. Look at what we are facing. If you see the footage, you'll be shocked. You will be shocked. Yen na ya ka say we share dubu ahianim kura on fato obi a cake ko betu me wia. Sorry, my friend you, but I mean the allegations coming out. So just look at such a person. What attracted him to do such a thing? What attracted him to do such a thing? But have a conversation with him, and he will boldly tell you, say, in this year. So what happened?
Yeah.
You see where we are coming from, and so that thing, it has been continuous. That is what government has always been about. It's been about precedence. Once you don't hold someone accountable for something, the next person is easily attracted to do the same thing. Easily.
Everything that you just said is on point. But do you know, say, there are people, regardless of the kind of breeding you give them, to be corrupt, they will never be corrupt.
How many people do we have? Let's not limit the conversation.
You see, that's why I made a reference to a leader somewhere in Singapore. Meka could see, so say, he prosecuted his own best man. And when his best man couldn't take it, what did he do? He hung himself. That was the accountability I was talking about. So if you say something, I mean, limited conversation, no. Now you fail to see it, say, we are talking about the same thing. We will argue this thing throughout the day. But the whole point of the whole issue is that we are saying the same thing from different angles. You decided to look at the whole thing from an accountability perspective. I decided to look at it from a broader perspective of building the mindset and the accountability coming automatically. What I say? If you have a good mentality, if you come to lead Ghana with a good mindset, the accountability will come automatically because what they are doing by. But if you fear baso ube bo minor kronwa, ube drua. Look, accountability then yeshe. You bet you the following day, somebody else will steal. Aren't we prosecuting armed robbers in this country? Don't we have armed robbers in this country? Galamsey and Chio Bintum, but still are people not doing it? What alternative livelihood have you given the youth to do our own Galamsey? And this is a Minyamsika Kakrana Mekoto mine and Peter, go to you know. But I can also tell what more Moko to and say, yeah, but Mobia Momidi. I can Ghana had a one obi kwatwaba ya mani kusia jena kobo dua so betwa baba na wo koye me galamza na mema kusia sa kobo dua sa ya chu na obo bidia service nsuo bi ya da ba binyam. So it all boils down to mindset. When we come in with the right mindset, the accountability will be automatic. We will achieve that automatically. And the year after na share that accountability nko ni akwa process and mindset nko, it all boils down this, it goes down the same route.
I think I now understand.
Reggie has understood everything.
She will understand all of us because we are saying the same thing. Are you not saying the same thing? We are saying the same thing.
Just that you are only looking at accountability.
I think you people are just
no.
Listen. What I said
when I was
limited.
You see, when I listen to you,
that is why
you made a lot of sense. I'm coming. When I listen to you,
let me
you
finish.
made a lot of sense. But tell me if what I said was senseless.
I never argued you. That what brought about the argument was he arguing the facts. Said accountability, no. We need mindset. I never argued what he said. I was empowering what he was saying by saying that for what we need right now to bring that change, we need to hold people accountable. It was in relation to what, that is why I was instead we are all saying the same thing, but from say you know.
But what he's saying, if you don't have that positive mindset, there's no way should I say you'll be held accountable, but as he said, you will keep on arresting people, you keep on arresting people.
The mindset of
what we are talking about here. We are talking about politicians.
The mindset of the everyday Ghanaian, corruption. You say a fan and fan kind just about this one for
let me tell you.
Let me
tell you
this. Corrupt proverbs.
Let me tell you this.
Corrupt proverbs. Just like we are me do wunti. Enisa meka.
Okwa abrochira. Do abrochire ndi. Na wuja ni papemana. The same thing will happen there. Do you know why it doesn't happen there? Because they hold them accountable. You are held to standard required of you. We don't have that here. That is the whole thing. Onipa bia uja ne pema no obeye de obe. Sa no nipa te. Enye different from obroni and abibini. Sa no nipa bia te. The difference between us, say, there are states, they will hold you to that level.
The Prime Minister of Netherlands, he has every right to drive any car radiance in the coin. But the mindset inti, he has taken it upon himself to ride a train or drive a bicycle to work. And on account when I the holding the money,
to big, you are just trying to make popular what you are. No, when we are having a broader conversation, let's not limit it to men and me person here, right?
Oh no, come on. That's not the kind of conversation we are having here.
That is how you are making a conversation. See, today I was about to even show you something before they told us that when G's making a record. Yeah. Mahama was his convoy. Do you know how many cars? 3 cars. I was shocked. I was like, 3 cars, president. The Eswa government, how many cars did we count? One time I met him on Kumasi Wood. 38 cars.
Any mindset.
Mindset.
Do you know why I'm saying that? Do you know why I brought in this? Because he used the Netherlands president.
So
it's nothing different.
No, but would you agree? See, I'm not supporting anyone here, but I feel that the mindset really counts. When the mindset counts, that is where the accountability.
It's like people don't get.
We get it. We get it.
See, people don't come and rule with mindset. We rule with laws. That's the thing. We don't rule with mindset. We rule with laws.
It's good that you are giving us military mindset though.
Enti semeba na me mindset ninia law nini. That is why the accountability is what really counts, because the law is going to hold you accountable.
Do you know
corruption?
Unim say enema bi Ghana ha enye illegal, but it is morally not right. Unim say, do you know that? So what kind of law there? Do you know there are things in Ghana right now? It is not illegal, but morally you feel say, oh Charlie, I deal with the man here. That is what we are talking about here. I'm not arguing with you. You see, I'm not trying to be right.
Because if you weren't,
okay, then
assembly and you won't try to find another thing to battle. Because in the first place, we are just talking about the same thing. We are talking about the same thing. We are talking about the same thing.
We all surrender. We agree with you. Accountability.
Like it hurts me that how many discoveries have we made from this
ECG? I think 5. 5.
The Ayoko Shy Hills. It was more than 40 cables, right?
Yeah, they said 40. Is it 40 bundles of that cable or something?
And what we uncovered last night is much more than that. Yet what to say at you?
The way our conversation has started this morning, there's a topic that we are going to treat. I don't know how it's going to be like.
Do you know why I chose that topic for you? It's been there. It's been lying down. But I wanted you to be on that topic.
I see. I'll be on it.
Like, I don't know. I don't want to sound like the only Ghanaian. But I am here.
You see, I understand you. All your concerns comes from the love you have for this state. You get it? But the whole issue that we are discussing this morning is that ECG4 cables are and that will be an area. And I'm telling you that Ghana 4, if you take 10 Ghanaians, now the Omujina now higher position, 8 of them will steal.
Which is very true.
8 of them will steal.
Very, very true.
And try to enrich themselves.
Do you know why it is true? Because they've seen that the people who were in such positions did some, and nothing was done to them.
Because me want to say because since time in memoria.
Exactly. I say culture be. People feel like politics has become a ground for.
You meet somebody, you ask them their profession, and they tell you they are politicians. How can politics be? How can you be a politician and be
a professional politician?
How can you? How can that be
I'm a professional politician.
You see, Ghana ha unuya ye bone na wo twe na so a because unuya no menye ne hwe.
Yeah.
Ahemfo be
because you say osia chi nya oda e ho na atafre. We nyina ye corrupt proverbs. Proverbs are corrupt here. Osia chi nya oda e ho na atafre. Onsa ye onsa chi nya oda e ho na atafre. Esene katrema mpo nya asama omo ana you see this thing.
Yeah.
Ufie do nama ebika.
Ufie pete do nama ebika. Ufie ye pete ufie. So if I say that the mindset has to take. So be we nyina was say ye ban be ni nyina.
About in other instances it relates to something good. That's one thing.
And then we found a way to make corrupt it. To make it corrupt in the neck obi e bone a obo say ni krom hene atutuntuma e be pachew kro bi so man hene no atutuntuma oh me ko president or me ko panacha or me de share no fase obi e bone ne e kwachi na party for yey.
Look at last 3 days.
Look at it. I won't limit it to last 3 days. I won't limit it to just last 3 days. It is something that has been going on in this country. I was here in this country when Goku Ejidu who said the nonsense that he said.
Please don't attack anyone.
No, I'm not attacking him. I'm not saying he's nonsense, but what he said was nonsense. You get it? If you've lived under a military regime, some of the things the soldiers does are not wrong. But the way they will do it. The way they will do it will make you think that, like, on this Ashama incident that they went there trying to find whoever killed their person. It was good that they want to investigate and bring out the culprit. But their modus operandi is not something that me Ghana near me pema sundria me pese me pia bontena me be 11 no. Because when they come, they will say curfew Accra 6 to 6. When you come show them.
Yeah.
Imagine the way Accra is. It be area do a toilet in the hole. So you guys say dances no. You guys say dances no. Na toilet ko kan we. But no funny.
Can grab for best at yes.
And so Kwaku and you hunya ho ka say history has a funny way of repeating himself, trying to reference Akufo-Addo papa military government etu no and then Akufo-Addo na wote aban mu a osusu say Akufo-Addo anye niam yi a military be sen tu. But okas awie a ye chi no ye de ko NIB no ona general asi dun ketia e ka so munya ono ade no beba. Do you know what they demanded? Ofri kokomlemle omo office no wan froka wo o start say wonante and you know general
he has that following
we free ha na we free okoduru oni nipa ma obe na echi no e na omo ka say no no muja no yeti ha e na ai Kennedy Japan na person ye president di Ghana fo nyina so no o ka so o hia ngona ni afa aba abo ni tiri Tasem ne kosi
a campaign at ya let's get into
conversation. Obedi because I'm gonna form one no movement. The primary is not on Beno. I'm gonna form a bit to our man. And so no, so we see about all my primary so could didn't know anything.
Wow.
So it boils down to Abian Sasa, Mummy and Sasa Abian. What did I say? Let's put on a nationalistic mindset. Say nebeya, what do you mean Ghana ha afebo? Ubewu. What chow Ghana ha na 120 years? Ubewu.
Nipa here.
And the magic Ghana no more so to say your dear person you offer bibia ubewu ajan ho.
If you 27.
Ube that's
if you 27.
Even out of the bedroom. Even on the bed. What's like the baby to You can't occupy the entire bed. Even with your wife, both of you cannot occupy the entire bed. There will be space in the bed. And if you say that, somebody will say it's a poor man mentality. Yeah, if you say this to somebody will say it's a poor man mentality. But I tell you, you can be rich in Ghana and be morally right.
Easily, you can.
I'm not trying to
easily you can
champion a poor man's mentality this morning. But I'm just trying to champion do the right thing, and the resources that you need will follow it.
Do the right thing, and the resources that you need will follow. Hey, it seems like the Bible quotation, evangelist. Seek ye the
Wally.
Seek ye the kingdom of God first, and all other things.
Nanagrada.
And Paul. That's a most like a grand zoo, but you know.
And I will evangelist Mama bless.
Evangelist Wally.
Evangelist Wally.
Okay. So moving into today's conversation.
And the Nekrana we in Kaho.
And that's how the show is supposed to be. Like it's supposed to be vibrant and hot. Like,
okay.
You're going to give it to them hot. Auditor General say or launch nationwide payroll audit. Nationwide payroll audit into all public or state institutions.
That is a Roman father so on Tiasi.
I don't know on Tiasi.
Minimum, so okay. Never to say also on Tiasi and Pasubianizo. Roman father so on Pasubianizo. But do you know who the Roman father is?
No, I don't know.
Do you know who the Roman father is?
No. Is it the running?
No, we don't know. The audience don't know. Please mention it.
Asefua. Honorable Asefua. We said they call Asefua.
Just a child she ni biana bibi chi.
Say me who suame o me na me kan say. E che o me na me kan say obi oni mi bia ni say we me pese pa.
He thinks that it's not necessary.
He's not a serious human being.
But to you, do you think it's a necessary?
Very necessary.
Really?
Very, very necessary. Hey, on my way home. Yani I say politicians are corrupt. But do you know one more corrupt pa?
No.
Civil servant. One more share offices. One more validate sa payroll no. Or say there's a system according to Roman father. Or say there's a system that your friend is saying that does this audit every month. And only you say obe kon waka sign near validate you.
No.
Teacher ni executive supervisor bin so tie kra bi ase a wodi nipa be 5 ato payroll no so. On one validate you. No dey akwa chief director, district director. Regional director na mo dey come and regional director na nte omo district would be into nim dey kwaso on the list of the brand no. We validate.
Manokro pentama ko na de oba ya
no assign near the accountant general no we tria na akogu nipa mienu miensa bi botom enti upa che say NSS standard is no money internal mechanism am dey check for those things. They had it but yesterday it happened. So for the nation's interest say na be ya our tax shouldn't go down the drain. It is very necessary. So the $1 billion the reason why these people are scared is that if they are to audit this thing,
you see why I always tell this man that is controversial. Like idea we are having a broad conversation.
Now I'm limiting
to some people.
And so no I can't be or more representative. When you're MP, what does the MP do? He represents people. So if an MP speaks, you have to assume say he's speaking on behalf of the constituents. In the end, the constituents me or more corrupt now.
But do you think that it is going to help strengthen some transparency?
Of course. It should be something we should do every year.
People have been arguing the fact that we've seen the public accounts committee. Hold so many sessions. Now where you see, the Auditor General has been there. They see people misappropriate funds and all, and nothing has been done. So what is this championing of national audits?
The auditor, the one they have in Parliament, what is
public accounts.
You see, we must amend our laws to make it like a court in Parliament.
Okay.
Give them powers of a court, even though they have the powers of a high court, but it is limited to say one more witness, one more frail as a witness.
Okay.
But say one more powers of the court
to prosecute.
Oba honi ehwehwe nkrata mu na yetimi ka chose kokotu ya ongotu ya judge asumasi ya hwehwe mi nkrata mu so odi for oba bon sentence. Enyom na be sentence no oba wo hwehwe nkrata no bi na bon sentence kasa na ma we nyina jai. But you see, public account committee no ho ye boka power ho anymore. You see, chief director bi wo ebe wo go so. I'm not saying go so chief director bi abokro no, but I'm just using that place because I'm familiar. Yeah, make us say, oh, auditors ekoye no sika 5,000 cedis and answer 10,000 cedis bi ya hunu enti the number accounts committee omra no omeye oba no also de ne nkrofo a omwake andan ba mienu eba ombe faka omba ombeje pdm bebi ombeda oman ne be nti ebe wie no na sika na yese omawia na ye be hwehwe mu no omo ba be boa me ahwehwe mu no o ma di sika abro sa abro sa sika na yese be hwehwe mu. You get it?
Yeah.
So you should have a mechanism in the local baby in our localities.
Okay.
I be checking for these things. Any say nyafina ye be so nipa na free.
Aba parliament.
Aba parliament amana ba anza ebi okra na nisika na no so abro so na ebia 5,000 cedis ebi wa 1,000 cedis.
One teacher be na there 2,200. And so ekura homo so ani free
so be dru ye.
I mean,
cow me ba be just you see, this whole thing sometimes doesn't make sense to me. And is that Auditor General say obeya ye man na kwan na onye. Yem nya na afibia every year. It should be done every year.
Okay.
So that say ye no January ya.
Yeah.
Ebia ye nwie ho niam nyina nwie no na duru June. Nti say wo de obi hyem kura na the person can only last from June to maybe December.
Because
yes. January best ye biem. So you understand?
Nti anu kra obedi bi on dinche.
Exactly. Adena de we ye den ya obi bedi. The way our system is, we ye den ya obi bedi. Yes. We ye den obi bedi.
Why the developers are system? Oh, they be saying him.
Say you see no. Oh yeah.
As what do we done?
Oh wait.
Hey.
Oh, they be asking Lisa.
Minimum mo didi ba mi.
Over to my body.
Me body. Me person team for job e me anope.
Hey, what body?
Me see me person team for job e me anope. Say me body
want to be like in team for.
Me ye bia ho. E be wi actually no. Na me sere data. Na me me sere data. Me mpesa ti me mpesa in team for.
O sere data mpa.
O say me need me sere mo obi ma me data. Na me fa send dia
ma. Na yo no.
Na yo no na ke wan. Na de o tin ka sa won. Me na me ko kan nga step na no pass. David.
Oh, okay.
But don't you think, say, with the Auditor General coming out to, I'll say pre-inform on what he wants to do. Won't drain say Ebema people, especially organizations involved in this corrupt activities, to give them the ample time to clear their system.
You see, corruption. Say, kasi yebecho, yebecho. See how could you sound for any free payroll no so that they now they aba auditor na accountant general media no so bende. So it is of no consequence. Sawakano is of no consequence to the outcome of the audit.
Okay.
The worst that can happen is that going forward numbers na ba auditor general accountant general you to amokana eso better but near that dana there And that's all. And money away crime. And ready any why I say my punish. Crime has no expiry date. Yen can say, oh, and no kunipa, never one kunipa, no nipa no kun, ye moon one thing. Okay. You still judge you based on that. The a yes or a babon, Jamaican, ye bika. Some quam babon, ye binka.
But do you think with this initiative it would put an end to the ghost names and overpaying and all that?
Ghost names will never be put out. Okay. We can't get rid of ghost names. Cry.
Why?
You see, somebody will die tomorrow, and sometimes you have to put human face to the whole thing.
Okay.
Say nipana wu and rap, right? And that 11th. Yeah. So even if you say validation, okay, let's say validation happens in the middle of the month. In the end, say 20th na nipana wu. You get it. Nipana wu on the 20th. He's on a government payroll. The validation has already been done. The money will come, right? Even though he's dead.
He's dead, yeah.
And some people also take advantage of his death to continue to validate him. No more scam. What did I say?
Yeah.
Nipana you say, and you want to wajai say we need her be. Right? Bastard na. Nipana you say wo.
I think the public accounts committee no. One time I was watching. There was someone at wajai the chair. Or says your US or Zinfa. Yes, so none salary for 2.5 years.
If you are crowd to what na loan officers I send you a message open loan abejen so you man wajai. Obi Jusika no. We still our number not that's all the time. And that is one thing about Ghanaians. Who is hard, they don't report. Say boneba, ye bet chiwaka home. So as a manager chairman for a bet chiwaka until you man still how you notice say you are getting message that is linked to government payroll. Just go back to wherever you registered to be on the government payroll and tell them say Ajumana Mejai. If there's an investigation, a probe into all that now you can even go there and tell them say, me when I noticed I went there and told them I'm no longer on the government payroll or I don't work for them anymore, so they should remove my name, which they didn't. Now you absolve yourself from blame. What I say? Na say what na say din dia asemba na ebubo din a ebebo din bi.
Inti after all this investigation na ebi omuye investigations ni we na sikebi omehu say nkofo bi ediskebi, what do you think would be done to get the money?
See, I always say that our punishment regime in Ghana is bad. Somebody will be corrupt, siphon government money for billions of cedis, or they are total dying. Near jail, near the Nako Koso, near jail, near Jaya Dynama. Free prison bar. Obi hold that prison grounded there the dynama high na year you ma piska gunho. So prison no call no holiday. What I say? Holiday no call na so call holiday na what you ma year you ma go. What you ma year piska go. In the prison no call na punishment a holiday. But if we decide that corrupt practices who your mind is ka ye chewa ye jiska no aji interest sika adwuma bi ade bi ajapade bi odi abansika yeah then it will make the whole thing unattractive because we are the near chewa ya chewa woni magu asemfa so bi amade na ye ne so but obi wo ho obewi abansika police vo na be che no obeti bi amomo jeje obejeri no obeti bi ama no
obeto aponcha ama
no obeto aponcha ama na abanche prison officer na okọ amana hwe ne so no okọ obeti bia ma no ndi ono no koduru a ward no o prison on ehwe so what you say because we are wise guy bia ma a prison officers yi bebri e no mama no soro ho ba bi no oda yes ne dem fine
oh prison no
nanka yes ne dem na minimum bi a Kumasi prison me e wadum ho no no oda ho no o free fee so o monto bi di mbre no
eh
or they know
Wow.
You see why I told you the Friday editions are fun.
That's why sometimes you see that they've arrested this person. This person all corner why lean. It's all piaban.
No, why she
yes.
There be Jenny in answer Adriana Papa. Who are never funny with you. Who are never funny with you, but whoever be a peer, you know. Cassiano, so the show boy. Junior, do you know?
That Chris Waddle boy.
Yeah.
So go prison by one. What can say, Diana? And yet, and then I'm a kind of
Oh, Charlie.
So instead of just
taking them to jail,
let's
confiscate their
assets. Let's change our punishment regime to make sure that even though they stole from us, we've caught them and we are getting our monies back and our money's worth, because government cafes man. So sometimes we have to even calculate interest for them to pay. Yes.
That's quite high.
Yes, of course. Now the bank ball was here. On interest. Now what we have is kind of much was a interest. Share. Bank ball was here no interest.
You cry, sky we are there the quay crying.
Aye. We are not a bank no ball was here now. Who scanner? About ultimate man excuses scanner, you know, my Jumana. Wow. And this all we are buying can find say buy na bob here. Yen just can answer you interest.
Yeah.
Of course. Yen for interest rate at that time you stole the money to calculate it for you. Say no so want me and tria na do ko jail. You get it?
Okay.
Say want me and tria and na you hwe na asset bi ani ho a ye be confiscate ya. Na do ko jail.
Okay.
What I say?
Okay.
Now wo koye e de no na oba 5 years. Now the didn't quite know what dying or Trazaqua. And when you guys are Corana, you may be no way.
Yeah.
Now what Traza?
Yeah.
Would the more bush and you would question nearby Dinos? We have, I was a Ghana, you build a comprehensive financial tracking system. Now, who's the Kabio be a baby free? And these are not doing what I told nearby the will be dying or the amount high, Abrayawa or there. What I say? So what I say? When the say you be dying or the amount high, Abana, wow, yeah.
Oh, airport on.
Aye. So what I say? Hey, wow, dear, you be the answer you be because you be there, you be who ni panisika, when you're about something. The money that person is getting, and then we calculate that and just oppose it with the value of the property.
Okay.
Yeah.
She doesn't get the, she's not getting the point. She's lost. You get it. When we are done, I don't want to be in team for your decision.
Before you issue disclaimers with me. I won't be fan. I don't
want to be in team for your decision. Maybe not. Mama be data.
Now, I also send her almost a 10 because you see.
I'm going. I told you.
Say you do.
I told you. I'm going.
You better start topic now.
I'm going.
So, the big things that our punishment system should be reformed because it gives room for people to have the attraction because. Whatever they did, it seems like they were just put on a holiday instead of being punished, being hurt by the state for what they did to the state itself. So yeah, maybe government should reconsider how punishment regimes are being slated out for people who indulge in corruptive acts against government. That was from Mr. The Big Steven. Moving on is our next topic. And this topic, sorry, is about accountability. Ghana, since we entered into the Fourth Republic, we've had two parties dominate the governance of the states. People are beginning to feel like one party is more vigorous in holding the other party accountable, and the other party is very weak in holding the other one accountable. And even if one is in power, it seems like they are still weak with their power.
Okay. You see, when it comes to accountability for the...
And I really want you to have the much ample time on this issue.
Okay.
Yeah.
If we say accountability in the political space,
yeah,
it's not just the executive holding the past administration or people accountable.
Okay.
See, the executive will do their findings, but at the end of the day, who would hold the account itself?
The judiciary.
Of course.
Okay.
And yet, you might when you say, oh, the judiciary shouldn't be controlled, they should be independent.
Yeah.
Huh? They should be independent.
But isn't the judiciary independent?
Are they? Are they? Are they?
Well, the constitution says that
they should be.
Yes, and it actually states that they are.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what the constitution says.
Growing up,
yeah.
What did you attribute to the NDC and what did you attribute to the MPP? Just answer this, then let's have a conversation.
Me?
Yes.
Growing up, I wasn't into politics. So
no, but when they say NPP,
yeah.
What was the first thing that comes in mind going up?
I think that, honestly speaking, I would say that elitism.
Okay. When they say NDC, what was the first thing that comes in mind?
It was more of, I don't want to use the word Takashi or something, but they weren't that much of, no, I don't have a word for them. Please.
Okay.
I don't want to comment.
We get what you're trying to say. I get your point. Okay. Ghana Bar Association.
Yeah.
Which group do you think started the Ghana Bar Association?
The group that started?
Yes.
Frankly speaking, I don't know.
The group that started Ghana Bar Association, Akufo Addo, JB Dankwa, they were the lawyers here in Ghana at that time. So most of our lawyers and judges idolized them. And yet this modern Akufo Addo in America.
Yeah.
Ne
papa. Yeah.
They were the elite. And one massive one and they did one BP MPP. At a point in time, Akufo Addo's law firm was one of the biggest law firms in Ghana.
Yeah.
Most of Ghanaian lawyers went through Akufo Addo's law firm. And are now working in Caucasian when we were talking about that. So they affiliated themselves, idolized themselves into a tradition. Maybe catch yourself and for I vote and I know who I vote for, just that I won't say it on air.
But brief us. How do they look like, those you vote for?
Well,
you can be arrested for that.
But woman, I am what? Woman, I said, one thing you don't know about the NDC's
their logo is that
there's a bed on
it.
The umbrella.
Yes, and the NPP for the answer also
so you leave it to the audience to guess. Okay.
So I vote. Even James are now conducting elections. No, she votes. But one thing that I have to be when I come here is to be as objective as
you can be. Yeah.
If you remember, one day I came here and then we were having a conversation and you said something about independence, and I said that mefa obinsu, I think it was Esinam.
Yeah.
Mefa ninsu. Now you say inzuoni Esinam there. Now te hana wanka. You are not being independent. You are just being biased towards me na me ho ade make me bully no.
Okay.
You are supporting me to do whatever I want to do.
You want to do.
So that has been what has happened to our accountability and legal system.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, executive
has no power
to make sure somebody account for the rot. The only thing they will do is that put the evidence together.
Okay.
No, they are judiciary say monje na mumbogo na monhwe say
Or fata
say or fata say or GBB no.
Okay.
And because this tradition baako elite and or inculcate the mindset the ideologies into a man for growing up who idolize them.
Yeah.
Who idolize them, Nonti. Now you've gotten people who are now adults, who are in the judicial system, who have their mindsets and who believe in their ideologies. In the ebeye dene say ye de ne yonko baba be gina ho ne yonko emfa say bia MPP nia be gina ho ne ye ka na asem no age atum say oh ye no kre nka ne say at the end of the day MPP peni bi kura na o idolize no be friend aka say look I don't know ye ni say you. Classic example is the Japa Richard Dami case. He one feel on Kokansam. A Supreme Court judge, Justice Yoni Kolandi, ni fear on Kotana a cansam na Dami Pese or Koe or Japabuano no Mujiri out of force. What did I say?
Yeah.
So imagine that if the judge was objective, Nkobema meeting na koso no and such a judge. Put me massa meeting will call Kosovo, and then I say, assembly be drew anymore, on come what the other party. So these are the examples. So if you sit down and you say this party is what do you call it, is weak, and a lot of factors contribute to their inability to prosecute. Chachuchi Kata was arrested on Sunday in his church.
In his church.
Did you hear NDC do a press conference?
Do you know about it?
Yeah.
Did you hear NDC do a press conference? Did you hear NDC say, oh, na machi chachu na munya? Did you hear that?
No.
Whatever happened to that issue is that they allow Chachu to go through the long haul. Yebu ano fono, and oko api kopim so nya ne freedom.
Yeah.
And then on Sunday when they went to arrest him for Joe.
Yeah.
What did they see?
We saw
the minority.
We saw the minority. We saw the minority.
Yeah, minority.
Micro minority.
For quite some time, I'm leader no why
na ECG containers here kosu onyo no be den
and on there for no be
ono onye bo chama o ECG ho
but someone your body be
onye bone contract him for the map approve am yes CEO to sign contract CEO to sign contract even though on the sign but approval no be free board no ho
okay
am the board to board nanim na board na hwehwem ya ka say okay kona mon ko sign enti if what do you call it, the CEO mismanages the company, the board becomes complicit. And Undina capital bank no.
Yeah.
Yenya mensa water be dimbo be kanne no. You understand? Because he was the board chair.
Board chair. Okay.
So this is the kind of system that we build. But Ghana form for my being course. If you take assembly to the court, they will frustrate you, sir. It's not like they've not taken people to court. Oh. NDC has taken people to court. But we ain't saying. Do you remember the Ghana at 60 scandal? How more at time small investigate here?
Yeah.
Asabi no. Ye chi asabi MPP for ko bo homa day. Yeah, free asabi, free way na free way. Any free omo. And a court. And then ochina. Me say, we are wadens or bekan okra na. You bet transfer with the akweshe so ga kope. Okay, Stephen Oponine a cocoa board case no.
Yeah.
When there were legal issues, when there were infractions, Opunika said, yes, Sanja Janamano. The judge who ruled that Upunia some no no Korean Sasanamano, you say a transfer no. Any other judge for buy no better na assembly so. If you promote Saja Janana or Opuni case in the Supreme Court, and a for buy better na no so best at Yasamin in Afro. And no so you transfer no. Any other your buy or bet penny so say yen twice no so buy. and I'm better twice. I'm not going to be through baby 3. So it's not that a political party is weak, but one political party made moves to skew the system of justice and accountability in their favor.
This is a very huge enlightenment and very controversial argument too.
People wouldn't agree, but that is the fact. Chachuchi Kata. You share facts. You share facts of the matter. No, but we jailed him. Court or say a judge, a lawyer too quite. He's going there for adjournment. Okuti data. Yede assembly beshe America. You could do a judge say, "Oh, you're a lawyer, represent yourself." No, jailing is just say, "Oh, you are a lawyer, represent yourself." No, jailing is harder now. Without the presence of his lawyer, now meaning say me a lawyer and I'm trying for a lawyer.
Let me ask you a question in this. If let's say in that instance,
just imagine NDC doing that to an MPP member in this current dispensation. Just imagine that. Say a dubu here can answer me. You did not go do court. The judge, the lawyer, ni ho. You say one representing the jailing is harder now.
Yes, and with that, is it lawful? Let's say I come just because I'm a lawyer, and as a judge, you told me that I can represent myself, whilst I haven't subjected myself to represent myself.
Even if you are arrested, they tell you if you cannot, you have a right to a counsel.
Yeah.
If you cannot afford one, the state will appoint one for you.
Yeah.
And the judge, do court and the lawyer and canon. The judge could have said, since your lawyer is not here today, go home, but make arrangements by this date. If your lawyer is not back, find another lawyer to represent you, because I'm not ready to delay this case further.
Okay.
What I say? And no, I'm very palma, and no, a contempt of court, and no, crime. Yes, I'm not supposed to know. Who holding a contempt for support that can't.
Okay.
So this whole legal system in Ghana, politicians are willing to be prosecuting the panel. Now the justice system is skewed. Why you cannot prosecute the person?
So okay. So does this fall in line with last 3 days? The NDC executive Mustafa Bandi, he made a statement. He was questioned that since you've been in power, we haven't seen you guys prosecute anyone. Yet when you were in opposition, you were like, when you come to power, we'll jail this, we'll jail that. And he said something very profound. He said that looking at the people or the caliber of judges we have now in our courts, it is not healthy for prosecution to start now, because some of the judges are compromised.
Me say, there's an agenda about the chief justice.
Yeah.
Yeah. The agenda is not just for her. Me say, you audit amount for cases in this country. Cases are international. It will be audited. You be able to do assembly. Now what need your petition, baby?
Wow.
I'm struggling. Sorry.
No, fine. That's fine.
Petition, baby. You be you. And at that time, you see people, almost supporters, no? Damn.
The free evangelist Wally people.
They will now come and then they will make their voices heard. And I free as soon as I say, democracy, we take democracy, so near there. Godfrey Dami, we are former attorney general. Who free Abamun chair. You be chief justice. I would be Kiki. Also, you are representative of a Roman father. Oh, Buana Mama Casamoy. Does this make any sense? Once you occupy certain positions, you become a statesman.
Okay.
And I think Attorney General Department should be one of it. Yeah. Because you can be hired as a consultant. Okay, say Ghana ni Cote d'Ivoire ni oil well be human song.
Yeah.
Around 2015, 2016, 17. Emma NDC prosecuted the assembly drew baby. International, one of the international courts. MPP by no. They hired the former attorney general, no NDC no. And then can home ko wi asem no. So as suba we had Godfrey Dami done a day. See near a company bi or manson etwe wa abochire na one start asem no. Say suba we betimi amana kwa akodi asem. Ntimi manonko. And the new attorney general wouldn't have details of the issues and the hands-on experience, as in the crux of the case, as you have.
You had.
So there are certain things in our judicial system, but and I am an ecoso, and I can say this because I'm not a lawyer yet. Once I become a lawyer, they will say you are a representative of
the bar,
the court.
So you can't speak against them.
Of course.
But can I ask you this?
Yeah, they will call me an officer of the court.
Oh, okay.
So they said I don't know who me. In the end, I was all I want to address it. But now I'm not, so I can say.
But you are becoming.
I'll become
very soon.
Yeah,
we thank God.
In no time.
We thank God. We thank God. But this controversial argument, as I put out earlier, the NDC has also been in power. So why haven't they also injected their people? Because to balance the equation, they've also had power the same way as these people.
I don't know if it was something they didn't realize or they were building the capacity to balance it. Do you know, have you seen the number of lawyers who have sprung up in the NDC? It wasn't like that in the past.
Yeah, recently we've seen a whole lot of them.
Yes, and even John Mahama in his campaign said that when they win power, NDC lawyers should also make it a point to become judges. So
really?
It is, yes, it is something that they have tried to build over the years, and they've gotten to a time that they feel that now they have the enough men to put them in places. And one thing about the NDC, I'm not saying that they are perfect, but one thing about the NDC is that they started this democracy that we have.
Okay.
From the beginning, MPP said that they don't want to have anything to do with it. They boycotted the constitutional committee. They boycotted the first parliament of the Fourth Republic. So they said they didn't have anything to. They don't want to have anything to do with it. And then NDC have nurtured it. So NDC doesn't want to do anything to jeopardize the democracy.
Okay.
So that's why sometimes people feel that NDC is weak. From my point of view and my perspective, it is not weakness.
So what do you think it is then?
I think that it is being careful not to escalate stuff. Hey, Ghana Ghana is so divided to the extent that
wow.
If we start a political conflict, it may be actually a political conflict game. It may be a tribal. MPP for fees what we are here for. I come for party. You get it? And this is for some fees what we are here for. Sebe MPP for near before party. If something political starts and it becomes a conflict, it may be actually no political conflict. No, that's a tribal. We say we want to mean tremo kumase. We say we am found so MPP and NDC want to mean tremo kumase. We are Asantinians who am found so we MPP and NDC want to mean tremo voter region, want to mean tremo northern region. So that is why certain things should be just sometimes ignored. What I say, it's hard to ignore certain things, but sometimes I feel that if NDC ignores certain things, it doesn't mean they are weak, but they are just preserving the peace of the state. You get it?
Okay.
So I would want things to change, but I wouldn't want it to change to like as in a complete overturn, as a symmetry. You get it?
Yeah.
I see it. That is what I don't want. Okay. Because say Oma NDC for who kind so womunye ni omopa unim no mzo be the womu nipa nyina be shim to the extent say ebeba be dane aba be say ne NPP dey no ayene no
allegedly,
of course, but there should be a balance to make sure say NDC for assembly banner political nipa they can express it from different perspective. MPP for perspective NDC for perspective even in America when they do paneling on the Supreme Court, they know who is a Democrat and they know who is what do you call it, a Republican.
Okay.
In the assembly idea ye hwe no nokre neka enye say ebia we to abakwa in America. That's why I said that I have a political party I vote for. But when I wake up in the morning, I don't have to come and sit here to talk for my political party or the political party I voted for. They don't pay me to do that. But I'll come here and be objective, and that is what our judges must do. When they also sit in their seat and they wear their cloak, they should make sure that they administer justice. It shouldn't be justice for the religion you are in or the political party you find yourself in. It should be justice for the people.
Okay.
And I believe in convicting one wrong person, than no, I believe in letting one wrong person go than convicting the right people. You get it?
Okay.
Obi nye bone. By some say didn't be jina wani ma ohwe ya we NDC na MPP ni nti. Ne ho ye wa hidada. What I say? The fact of the matter cry one here, they convict the person. And there are times to you didn't be jina wani ma why bone pa. Nso here no say NDC ni MPP atare o MPP em party pa NDC em party pa go.
Okay.
So instead of trying to use your political affiliation, your biases to convict people whether they are wrong or not, use that same political biases to make sure you have different perspective. What I say, so we NDC ni MPP ni yet panel no so assembly by and what count them a come there after you me no nyina trans baby an okra ne da no ye dey ato case die.
David, looking at this scenario you just gave, do you think that it will still make sense? Because people have raised that argument that judges being appointed by the president.
Not all judges are appointed.
Yeah, but okay, the Chief Justice.
Yeah, Supreme Court. All
Courts,
the Supreme Court
judges here shouldn't be anymore because it creates this loyalty bias. In such instances that we are talking about now, where even if the person is guilty, because you are loyal to your party, you have this bias towards the person, whether he is for you or not for you. Does that argument stand here? That then we should take away the appointment of Supreme Court judges?
We will get there.
We'll get there.
Yes, at a point in time, we will get there as a state.
Okay. But even with that, even if we get there as a state, is it still going to be formidable, looking at where we came from with the Bar Association?
You see,
because they are still going to be loyal to the tradition of the bar, and you've made us understand where the roots of this bar sprung from.
You see, let me use the NAT. You know what NAT is, right? Ghana National Association of
Teachers.
Yes. It was a monopoly.
Okay.
It was just one single teacher union.
Okay.
Umpo and one joining. And an agrat by.
Yeah.
And a cooperative, say concern as a cooperative Abeka. So it will come to a point another legal association
will
sprang up.
Okay.
When these legal associations sprang up, na bar association for na nkwasha aban bi echi anka say kill it. Na eja na mani nyina engineer. There won't be this kind of pluralized system you won't see abim.
Okay.
Let me digress kakra. That is one of the problems of ECG.
Okay.
ECG doesn't have a competitor.
Yeah, true.
That's a more competitor.
Yeah.
And Omunim say, my name is Juma year, as soon as he Jimenipa, and I say a Jimmy customer. Compare name ye. You see how the the telcos are competitive?
Yeah. But with them, their competition is still used to one thing. But poor service.
No, it is the infrastructure.
Oh, okay.
Infrastructure no more is a bad system. But yeah. So infrastructure no yeah. And a spectrum no more fine. Carbon is near the mind.
It's about say spectrums no. Okay.
But for the Ghana Bar Association there, and there's one new legal
really?
Yes, I don't know the name, but Abba
na say
Abba but because the Ghana School of Law hasn't recognized them yet. It is just like any association. But a time will come, they'll be recognized. And once they are recognized, Ghana Bar Association will be because they take dues.
The new one or the Ghana Bar Association?
The Ghana Bar Association.
Okay.
When they say you should be a lawyer in good standing, do you know what they mean by that good standing? You must pay your dues up to date.
That's the good standing they're looking for.
Here. And when Ghana lawyer catch us say you must be, when they are saying something and they are giving the criteria and they tell you you must be a lawyer in good standing. And one or more can want them. We both do so a bribe $5 million crime from home.
Once you pay your dues.
Yeah, Chief Justice be or how what if you born or do so I give $5 million. Ghana Legal Council and Jimmy friend can. He was never called to come and explain. The accuser said that I'm available. I have evidence. Mon frère member. They never called him.
Accuser Nasi.
Me what evidence so I give $5 million bribe. Intina what bu asameti ame. Mon frère member me the evidence member. Wa man frère papa na be kan papa na kwate na fi. My accuser no so the evidence now. So the accountability is not solely on the shoulders of the executive, but the judiciary must take part of the blame.
Okay. Okay. So, to you, finally, you believe that it's not about the party being stronger than the other. It's just about the state institutions who are supposedly,
of course,
responsible for this.
Yes.
Okay.
That's how I see it. Somebody else who might also see it differently.
Okay. All right. Moving on to our last topic before we get into some special announcements and wishes for my very special people be somewhere. The last topic is about rent. People are crying. People are really crying. The rent in Ghana, and let's even focus on Accra, is outrageous. We've been calling on the MPs to talk about it for us. During the beginning of this administration, we saw Edem Agbana, the MP for Ketu North, take it up in Parliament. We haven't heard anything about it yet. We heard John Dumelo campaign through leading to the elections that he was going to fight for the rent to, have some premises and all that. Yes, we haven't heard anything.
No. How is he going to do it?
Well, he was talking about the fact that the advance that we pay shouldn't be. Maybe it should be about 3 months to 6 months advance to be paid.
Let's analyze that right now.
Okay.
And you see, even though I don't agree to say I do 2 years advance, I don't agree to that. But let's analyze something. You see, then we only see Dino as an investment, right?
Yeah.
This is kind of also what they call investment. Your more inflation to me rise from around 17% could do 54%.
Yeah.
So imagine so now share say maybe 200 cedis. And I boss maybe 200 cedis. Do you think say time and inflation or 200 cedis no? Time and inflation was 17% and I could do 50. The value of the money will still be the same.
But with this particular analogy you've given him, that is why John Awuni, the man who is calling for a national discussion on our rent state, is saying that when you build, let's say that we see in 5 years ago, I did be our born I mean, what JV? See how they rent it. Maybe this month, what the man 1 year advance, what the man 200 cedis. advance na soon ya what they are called 300 cedis.
Where they who said that you see a matemoka.
But so won't say
me can't me boy chiro.
But what the young fans say we are want to come.
No, I'm not. This question is not for you.
Okay.
This question is to whoever will sit at home and make that analogy.
Yeah, sure.
You see, until the government is able to know how much goes into building, we should have a regime. And then yes, government can value it and know how much it costs to build.
And that is going to inform.
That is going to inform.
We should charge for.
One who say, "Abine be who say, ya take and I say, take." What I say? You can't just sit at your house and say, "Oh, then we see 10 years abantima take." Do you know the maintenance I've done within that 10 years?
Yes. In regards to the maintenance, John Awuni was saying that. Let's say. Yeah, they are renting me 1 year, 2 year na so. Osio beto so. Meanwhile, me betina maintenance be a cost of music and put them there. Like what about that?
You see, let me take it from this point. Ghana have dying price and yeah price and yeah the car yabo. That is than at him the DBOBD man son be obedient me a train dada. We put all these things near the bua a dinosaur. Yeah,
in Shepatakalu, my baby. What was Shepatakalu? What can some pa?
Yeah, book and I amount. You get it?
Yeah.
Forgetting that the partners are all banner. That same economy now, what's the idea?
Yeah.
Sa economy na be no. And dan apart from say dan be hye. And as nsuo be yira be kata dan so ama dan na bubu no. Esi ho afebɔ. Okɔ kuma se bantama.
Yeah.
Dan na esisi kwa abrosan na wo kwa no. O man si no be 2000 so. O mu si no in
18
be 1908 ache.
Yeah, ache.
Ndi say young man say that time na open nine and a few ran and the car abon ho ebu ma utu ebu kama utu aya so say what take on ne nananom na edi. So what was the essence? Ndi landlords betimi aye e kan kakra I break it down say be a messy dan no me bo ka say this number of years na me feel say me dey say ya ebete. It shouldn't be say who na what say what can in your lifetime and see where sa obebu nipa. What is obesi nipa? It shouldn't be say who na wasi dan indi me pese me take kan dan no kan nyina in my lifetime. E betimi aba say wo kra bet kan kakra na wo ma ba bet awi. Wo ba no mo mpe dan na wo nton is still how can na what. But your man bi mu a ibebu kan nyina e dey aso say 2 years betua. For 2 years betua. Even sometimes within the 2 years, Dano, oh, can also met to move. Met to me, the be 3,500, I could 2,005. Unti and a brand new one now. You get it?
Yeah.
A blue aquana, a baby, a cat was a mackerel from Blue River. I'm saying, I'm by hand on by trying to call.
But don't you think that with all this, especially with the increase of rent, rent control should not a hand in it, but they can also play a part.
I say rent control.
Because
I'm going to maybe I'm going to crash on YouTube.
Ghana is a funny
state. They owe their landlord here to who can rent control. One useless entity.
One time it say easy for be him fine for mo crown so de ka yakutu light easy baby
that's some matter baby right no who can rent control one useless entity.
But, okay.
you can't legislate these things. Ghana we operate free market. So you cannot tell a business person you cannot regulate the market in that manner. You can put laws that will help the consumer. But say we call regulate, I can say, oh, we see down 10,000 Ghana cedis, 5,000 Ghana cedis, intimate. Okay. What I say? The things that we can regulate are the things the government have a hand in bringing. They say petrol there, a buying on a facilitating your crack. But say, oh, I'm one man see me down my coba day, ye wallet to a last I see me down. Now me the man hand I'm to make 2,000. I wouldn't mean a Flagstaff outside and I say Jubilee House on Canny Open Channel. Men finding the open.
Now, what of 6 months rent pay now was a year? Okay.
I'll get there. You see, on my woman, bank mabosian. The bank won't give you a loan. Few run also see dino. Say or this or beboa sikano ne see dino. Hoping say we see dino we are what they rent in a bedding. I bet it. Now what they are investing in something else. We should have a regime. The landlord can leverage the rent you are paying to get a loan.
Okay.
Not the building. And yet dining in
but the rent.
The rent that you pay. And also Timmy Kono has a message nine say. Nipa do say in the womb. Omutia bosumi dia say. Inti based on that monfa mom desia. But there be okoban why we can say what dine can say saying. Is square meter saying so. One more pen dine and kasa na all the vote here about the they are not interested in leveraging on nipa do e what dine need sika or mutia ma wo so me.
Okay.
Say nko yes ah nko bi anye 2 years advance. This is ba 3 years deposit 3 months deposit over 3 months deposit no makobango. Oh, I have a new tenant. She's in for this number of months. She's paid this amount of months. And then she says she's going to stay here for this number of years. That now be an agreement no more. Yeah. Rent agreement no be here. In as much as say you are paying a month no. And unforeseen circumstances, also too, there should be a compensation. So compensated landlord say, my bejo dance you was a metronome this a number of years. Nothing but some soon there should be an amount of the bed no compensation. So based on that agreement, agreement and also better than 2 years.
Okay.
And the more na month na otuano momma me 2 years ka and the 2 years money won't come from you the tenant but all monthly scan na otuano and the cost service 2 years loan now no bank no. Okay. But we don't do that in this country. What I say? Yeah. What we do in this country is that confanda any papers bra until we are able to find a way to do this. Or minus say be rent in the between 2 years now.
Okay.
But if a bank also decide to do this,
yeah,
you can imagine the amount of money the bank will be making on that kind of loans.
Okay.
Because even Crown is a blessed na ebetinam also to akwa foforo beba. So there's nothing like default on it.
Yeah.
So if you run a once who decided so on bless and you free, we chama on cha on proper of you know be tuna na wa akwa loan. And I'm a boy. Send them loan.
Yeah.
There are landlords in this in Ghana, Accra here, which is your team catcher say, I buy with Chama one charm into me too.
And the ampa.
May the dynamo on one down for no one come into me too.
Yeah.
Oh, by the dynamos who you suggest you about get better on chain. Me too.
They make the
who say
as when they want.
And then who say yeah, just because what we are no good, we cementable.
Oh, serious.
Or thought cement is not cement.
We are no good. Now, one more Musasa, or like one more see Diana Musasa, one more he said, one more inherited Diana Mobusa cement. Oh, yeah, 6 years. Oh, inheritance. Who be Busa cement? Now, cement not toilet or not. Ngawuzi would huh? Why inherited and we cementable?
Wow.
Do you think the government can do anything in regards to this rent?
Yeah, your final say on that.
The government can make laws to regulate the rent.
Okay.
Hey, okay, a real estate agency. They be American or Massam. They be or must see luxury apartments is here. Nipan Timo. And so, and how must say Nipan Tidanum? One say real estate for about one time because say, our houses are not occupied, so we are losing money. What to be that?
No.
And so call
Airport Hills ne East Legon ne Cantonment ne omo dan esisi ho kwa obi antim. But they don't complain. Why are they not complaining? Because the real estate agents is department or industry in Ghana is a hoax. It's an avenue for money laundering. I say mo Sam George Kenya asem ba me so make me. It's an avenue for money laundering. Say me ti hey na me si mabo modern awere me mo wire mu si dan ba ko bi si ba bi na nipa me han nka me start yesu.
Yeah.
Because a dan si ga na msi ese nka sika kakra mfiri homra na me mfa nya de foforo. E bia me mfa bi ma minidi. What is it? Say dan obi ametenam. E dan no so me yitwanwe nti me de mesu. Ba wo de wunya sika no de akwa kosi dan nipa ntimo so won ka hwe.
Obi or trying to can able to make you chat dan.
What the boy akese na ato dan no so. E na wa wa pedin wa twere na asomesi abehan so zasomesi wonye nipa. That person doesn't exist.
Wow.
Wa pinipa. And wa twere din. Say, oh, this person has this apartment. This person is occupying this apartment. So could be the number dan so will be occupied on paper and move through.
This will be ending the show. I'm telling you. I am restricting this man from wearing Batakali to my studio.
I didn't even know that time.
I'm restricting him because, but honestly, the Batakali is very nice. Yeah, this is like typical Batakali.
Yeah, my sister bought it for me.
Oh wow.
Monica Dubik. Now she's Monica Kuzuru.
Wow.
And Nikuru the Kuzuru team Dubik me
Monica, baby, I will be to be my mentor. I am fair. Yes, I'll be one of my royal food near Bearman. Sunday, my man warning. I said, I'll grow about my park you force in Tarigu. Oh, come see you about question. Yeah. So, yeah, this where we'll be pulling the curtains. But before we leave, today happens to be the birthday of one of the most beautiful twins I've ever seen.
Yes.
Very, very beautiful. And their names are Kendia Boabing Sr. and then Kendra Boabing Jr. They are the nieces of my very able friend and gentleman here, Mr. Dubik Stevens. And your uncle has a message for you, Kendia and Kendra. He says that he loves you so much and he prays for God's wisdom, knowledge, good health, and wealth all the days of your lives, that the favor of God will lead you as you grow up. You will grow up to become whatever God purposed for you to become. You will become a star for your family and a joy to your parents. And everywhere you go, the favor and the glory of God will be made known there because of you too.
Amen.
Nothing can stop you in life.
Everywhere this anywhere they set their foot, it shall be a blessing. They shall be favorable amongst their peers. Amen.
Amen. Hey, evangelist, no.
Evangelist, wow.
So yes, we'll be drawing the curtains here. Once again, I want to thank Dubik for making time yesterday and today. You always make my show lively, and I like you for that. Also, Regina, thank you for anchoring the show with me, for your kind and beautiful, the way you've been looking lately, dear. You are crashing on someone in the studio. Chairman. Also to my producer DJ Q, thank you for holding us down. The rest of the shows is going to blow you up this weekend. DJ Rock will be coming with the Friday vibe, and over the weekend we are going to have the Premier League streaming. So don't forget.
Unana. Sans akwana sa.
Match kokan yes.
Unana san wasa. Hey, enro na dena. Oh, there.
That's chance 70. So yes, do enjoy the rest of the show. We wish you a very beautiful weekend. We'll be coming your way same time on Monday. That's where I leave you. Bye.
Bye.